All right, hello. What's going on? Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hope everyone's doing well. It started snowing. It's actually coming down pretty hard right now. Let's lower this. It's coming down pretty hard right now. Just had to go out and check the cars real quick and all that. But I hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I hope everyone had a happy or Merry Christmas or both. And/or both. And we got our new video up as well, the EP Minnow. So we're going to be playing with some EP fibers today. We got some different EP fibers that we can play with. Some angel hairs and all that. Yo, what's going on, NASCAR? Oh, I hope everyone's doing well. Great Christmas. Lots of rain in the California Delta and recharging all our water tables. Yeah, I saw there's like some crazy flooding going on, it looks like, in LA and all that, right? But that's good. Recharging the water systems. You're doing some ice fishing for smelt. That's cool, Raph. Yo, what's going on, Shinobi? I hope you're doing well. Man, it's hot in here. It was freezing outside. Let me take my jacket off. Ugh. Yeah, so we got the new video. The EP Minnow video, which just came out earlier today. So I figured we could play with some EP fiber and tie some different bait fish flies. And also we have our monthly giveaway is going to be coming out here on YouTube at the end of the month. We're going to have another video. I think Wednesday is New Year's Eve, so maybe like Wednesday we'll have a video come out, and that'll be our giveaway video. But we We also, what do you call it? We also do our giveaway on Twitch on the last Friday of every month. So we have, let me guess, I gotta do this real quick. Man, my Elgato. Every time I have to unplug it, plug it back in, and then I'm gonna have to deactivate and reactivate it. Hold on. There we go. I don't know why. Luckily, I know basic computer stuff from streaming, so I'm used to it. But we also got a Friday Fly giveaway up on via Marble Race for Twitch, because unfortunately it doesn't have integration for YouTube. With that being said, we do our giveaway at the on the last video of every month on YouTube, so that'll be coming up here soon. All right, well, keep working on it, Raph. Sounds like you're doing good. All right. So, we also got the swim tank set up because I recorded 2 days ago, and yesterday I filled the swim tank up. Hey, thank you, Paul. Hope you had a great Christmas. Yeah, it was all right. Just took it easy. I spent half the day editing the video for yesterday, and I had to redo the voiceover because I had crazy cotton mouth on one of them. So I just had to redo it. Plus, the timing was off on some of the stuff, so I just had to. It took me a while to edit it yesterday, but I also then just played some Magic the Gathering drafts and did mediocre. Got most of my gems back, but hung out with the family. Mom and Dad they baked a chicken or made a chicken, so we had that. But we keep it pretty chill over here. Obviously, when I was a kid, we used to do all sorts of stuff, but now we just take it easy around here. We got crazy snow that's coming in right now. You know all about the Cottonmouth? Well, I got myself a nice, not Polar Spring, but we got Schweppes. So that should help tonight. I also got a couple White Claws, but we don't got to talk about those. You know what I mean? Used to be a Guinness main, but I think I lost 20 pounds after stopping drinking Guinness. I gotta say though, Schweppes, it's pretty good. It's not the worst. I don't like any of the artificial seltzers, and I don't want any added sugar. I just want, give me like that natural fruit flavor with the carbonation. You know what I mean? That's what I like. It's refreshing. I don't like any really sugar. The only really sugar I consume at all is any sort of alcohol whatsoever. All right. Well, I guess in some food as well, but I keep it pretty light. Okay. So let's go with a tarpon hook. We have a 2-odd tarpon hook here. And let's just tie some other colors of EP flies. What I want to do is I want to tie some larger ones, like almost mackerels and stuff. We'll start off with the smaller one while we chit-chat. And I want to tie some larger ones as well. We could always take a look at like saltwaterflies.com. He's got a nice, it's almost like a fly database as well as a place where you could go buy flies. But I've been looking at, he's got some of the same photos too from like, I feel like years ago. I've been looking at them as references for years. Excuse me. All right. We got all sorts of different colors here. I did tan and white. Unfortunately, I would love to do like a gray over white or something like that, but we don't have that. I did see there was also a jungle version. Or like, yeah, I think it was like the jungle EP Minnow or something. And I think it was a mix with like some oranges, some tans, and some like olives or something like that. And I have those colors. So I'm thinking we do something like that. In fact, we could pull it up. Going to do Christmas with my son tomorrow. He's a fireman and he was on duty for Christmas. Oh, that's awesome. What are you guys going to do, some dinner or something? What was I doing? Oh, yeah. This is what I was doing. Shout out saltwaterflies.com. I think he started in 1990. 4 or 5 or something. I think online it was like, or it was like 98 was the website he started. He recently posted it on Instagram and I shared it, but we were talking a little. This is what we're looking for. This one, right? No, this is a bait fish. Which we could tie these. These are the like more like peanut bunker style. Just hand it out. Nice. The Everglades minnow. This is what I want to tie. Yeah, it's kind of like a darker brownish color. We can do something. We could figure something out though. It's like olive up top, light tan on the bottom, brown markings. Oh, I don't know if I have a brown marker. That's the thing, but we can improvise, I guess. We could always do black or something. Okay. Also, by the way, check this out. This is Chris Windrum's Saltwater Fly Museum. This is an original Bill Catherwood squid right here. So he's got some sick flies on here too. This is like he's had this. This is posted in 2007. But he's got some cool stuff. So it's worth checking out one day. Alright, Camel Legs. Appreciate it. What's that static? I don't know. Do you guys hear any static? I don't hear anything. Mic check, mic check. We good? We good? We good? Mic check, mic check. Well, I'm just gonna. So this is the microphone, just the microphone. And now we'll just do the audio. I have noticed something with YouTube. It's only one YouTuber in specific, so I think it's him, but it's only at the once he uploads his videos, it's Magic the Gathering dude. But Paul Cheon or Hump. But at this for the first 3 hours, there's this weird popping and static in his video, and then afterwards it's not like that. Oh, it's when I'm showing a website on a different screen? Huh, okay. Interesting. Was it? Let me go back. What about now? I wonder if it's because I had my game audio. But even then, it shouldn't. It's static. Let me see here. Oh, I see. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Rev. No, you know what happened? It had my video capture from the Elgato on for some reason. Yeah. There's like 7 different audio sources it must have kicked on. All of my audio runs through a mixer. There we go. Yeah, we've been doing... Imagine this is your first day streaming. You'd spend an hour trying to figure out what that is. We've been through this before. Thank you, Rev. Appreciate that. The goggles. The Googles. I don't even know what Cryptic speaks in tons. Okay, I do have some olive. So we're going to use some of this. And I got some of this darker... I think what we'll do is we'll blend some tan and a little bit of black together with this dark orange to give us that darker brown color. We'll make our own brown. Mike Ross was here for Halloween. But, you know, I had to send him to work in the coal mines. But he was here for Halloween. He'll show up again once he gets on leave from the coal mines. Your fiance got me a make my own polar fiber minnow kit. Oh yeah, I remember you were talking about that mechanic in Discord, right? And you were asking about UV resins. Yeah, what do you call it? Solar Res is good. Solar Ease. Craggle Roll was mentioning Loon. Loon, you know, I used them at the start, and I had an issue where I had like 50 surf candies turn yellow. And I sent them an email, and they never got back to me. I will say they did redeem themselves when I had an issue with my Mega Lamp, Megalight. They sent me a new one. But I will say Solar Res or Solar Ease. I don't even know how you pronounce it, dude. They, what do you call it? They're my, that's my go-to. I got the black lung, pap. It's Merman! It's Merman! Exactly. The Pennsylvania coal mine. Was it Pennsylvania? Where was it that he had to go to? It was somewhere. It was like West Virginia. It was probably West Virginia or something, right? They were like in that bar. It's Merman, Daddy, Merman. He's like, I love it. I don't even know if you were referencing Zoolander or you were referencing an actual coal mine discussion, but I just remember Zoolander. Yeah, okay, it was. Must have been like West Virginia or something. They just don't supply the resin, which makes no sense. Well, a polar fiber minnow, it depends on what the actual fly is, right? But we could take a look. The polar fiber minnow is basically the same thing as the high tie peanut bunker that we tie for silverflies.com, but polar fiber minnow. Well, I mean, you do use UV resin technically, now that I think of it, or epoxy. So I am dumb. Yes, you do. But I guess maybe they just were going to have you glue it on there. I don't know. So if you're wondering how to tie this fly, by the way, it's literally like the same way that we tie the fly on. We have a video for it, the Bunker Buster, it's called. It's pretty much just a high tie. And you just taper the length of the material. So, but yeah, there is the epoxy section or the UV resin head. And you kind of do it in a triangle taper shape like this as well, off the back. And you want to fully cover it. Yo, what is this song? It's a banger. Turn it up. Okay. We're gonna get some tan and mix it with that brown. And then we're also gonna be using tan and olive. Okay. Where's that Schweppes? Alright. Hey, see you later, Raf. No, you didn't say that you were in jail, Camel X, but hopefully everything went well. Don't violate your probation if you're on it. I'll post a photo of the fly in the Discord. Yeah, okay, sounds good, dude. Oh yeah, we had an alright Christmas. Oh my god. Alright, well, you know. Don't do anything dumb. How about that? What are you doing, bro? Come on, bro. Don't incriminate yourself in the chat either, okay? The second one is my first attempt. Okay, let me take a look here. Did you post it in the Discord? I plead the fifth. It's in the description above, Shinobi. I don't really mention it that much because the majority of people that watch my YouTube are above the age of 40 years old and don't even know what Discord is. Hey, we got some older dudes, or we got some old timers join Discord over the years. It's definitely like a PC gaming sort of thing. It's very much a streaming thing, I guess you could say. There's not much crossover between PC gaming and fly tying. But, yeah, right here. Roasted boomers. Hey, dude. Look, I was thinking I'm 1 year off from having lived the 2 lives of 18-year-olds. I'm turning 35 in like 3 days or 2 days. And I was like, wow, I almost lived 2 18-year-olds lives. That actually is like, okay, now I feel like I'm getting old. Right? You know what I mean? 18 years, I mean, it's a lot of time. So I'm getting up there. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out also, you know, I'm just going to play it because I don't care. Check this out. I'm going to show it off because, yeah, guess what? I need 1,000 subscribers to start earning ad revenue, all right? So go subscribe to Mike Rolls Dice, my second channel. Let's watch the intro. Because it's sick. Once you find a good rock song, you just stick with it. And that's what I've done. 1947, in an undisclosed location on the west coast of Alaska, a new form of geothermic rift energy has been found, and Imperial Japanese forces have made landfall to try and claim the valuable resource. Yes. A highly elite group of U.S. Special Forces have been sent, consisting of Paragons, Fireflies, and an armored platoon, all to defend There's like
the
40
US
different sound
of
effects
freedom
going on.
and
I had
Super
to
FDR.
put in at
In
the
this
same
week's
time.
game of Conflict 47, Second Edition.
It's just the song. The song's so good. I love it. Yes! Which, by the way, the video is doing pretty good, dude. I mean, 2 days ago, we got 1.2k views. I gotta say, I'm impressed. This channel is doing pretty good. And we only really started making videos about 10 months ago. So, we just got to get that subscriber count up so I can start earning a little bit more ad revenue so I can fix my damn boat. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. Give it up. Give it up. And shout out to Rev in the chat. He's been pretty much taking over all of the hard work for terrain and painting everything. I was the one that did all of that stuff previously. But Rev's pretty much been doing all of the hard work nowadays. And meticulously painting all of the rocks. To be fair, he's got a 3D printer and it looks way better. I used to make stuff out of foam and it looked like foam, but, you know. Yeah. I just we're starting to work on a Warhammer 40k video with Blood Angels vs. Guards, so we'll see. It's going to take me like, yeah, a lot of that stuff Rev 3D printed. Like half the stuff on that table, Rev 3D printed. All the forests, trees. Some of them are Warhammer stuff that our buddy, it's part of his collection that we're holding on to. But like all the castles and all that, it's all 3D printed and painted by Rev, so. All right. He's getting well known in the there's gonna be a Rev, like a Russian Rev commissar mini one day or something. Maybe Japanese. Let me get the Vice set up right where I like it. I also want to have the background be a little bit darker. There we go. Okay. So this fly, it was olive on top, and then there was tan underneath. Okay. That's all I need to know. We're going to brush this out. So we got our olive. Well, let's get some music going. What am I doing? What are we doing here? Let's back it up. Dude, Vices are expensive. I mean, this one's like, what, $420 or something? I think it is. Or something. But this is their, like, top of the end model. Vices get up to, like, $1,000 or something. But yeah, like we said, you could just get a Vice for $30. And some people tie on $30 Vices for their entire life. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. You don't gotta get a tricked out one. The $200 Regal is really nice too. The God, I always forget the name of that thing, but it just doesn't have the revolution system or whatever, with the ball bearings and everything. It's just a simple. You could just turn the head. With this, you can like spin it like this. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I used to be a mechanic, and I had a Snap-on toolbox that was like $6,000, right? And wrench sets that were like thousands of dollars. Because I was an idiot, and you're young, and everyone's like, well, you gotta have a Snap-on toolbox. You know what I mean? And, what do you call it? And I literally tie flies for a living. So this is like, you know, you don't have to have like very, very nice vise to tie really nice flies, for instance. Yo, Zeke, what's going on? Merry Christmas. Yes. Well, hey, dude. Look, this winter we got a lot of time to film battle reports, and I got to start pumping them out quicker than every 2 weeks. It just takes a long time to do the damn thing. Like, that video literally took me 2 entire days worth of editing, and then there was like a day of voiceover work, but well, you know what I did? I was smart, mechanic. Somebody didn't make their payment on their box, so I got it was the ones that had the deepest drawers they ever made. I forgot the name of it, but mine was only like it was like an 8 drawer or something. It was pretty big though. I mean, the thing weighed so much. It was really fun when I like quit my one job and I had to put it in the truck, you know, when I was pissed off at my boss. And then one other time that I was fired because I stopped giving a shit. But what do you call it? The kid didn't make his payment, so I got like a $8,000 box for $1,500, or like, I think it was like, no, it was like $1,850 or something like that. And yeah, I ended up selling it, but because I just can't store it anywhere. That thing was ridiculous. It was so heavy. It's not very appropriate, but I have to make the joke. We would call you call it the strap-on truck when they pulled up, because they were going to be getting into your wallet every week, bending you over for a payment or something, you know what I mean? I should probably switch over to some monofilament thread, but there's this Polish guy I worked with. There goes the strap-on truck or something. That was a terrible Polish accent, but I'm not going to try and do a serious, heavy Polish accent. Dude, there's one guy I worked with. He had, like, the box. It was like the tricked out, most top of the line box. The only thing you can get better is the ones where they have motors on them and you can drive them around like a pit crew or something. But he had the box. It was I forgot. It was the bright green one, and he had the big cab where you open it up and there's like a full display box in there and shit. And he had like the full side cabs decked out. And I asked if the thing was like $120,000 or something like that. And we were working in a Midas. I only worked there for a short bit. They were storing all their used oil in the back of a broken down box truck. Just to give you an idea of how, like, I'm like, how does this dude at this Midas have $120,000? But, you know, hey, dude, if you're like an A-Tech essentially or something, you do that sort of stuff, you can make money. You know what I mean? You can make some money in that business for sure. But also, mechanics quit all the time and they go from other places and this and that. Yeah, I forgot which one. I mean, this was years ago. They probably even have more tricked out ones nowadays. Who knows? I don't know, dude. Half of my stuff was Snap-on, and the other half, later on, I would just go to Harbor Freight. Like, half of my Harbor Freight impact guns, the air impact guns, were so damn good, and I could throw it around all the time. I wouldn't have to worry about it falling and this and that, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to go with a little bit. I'm going to add some launer material here, where we can actually just pull it a little bit more, because I want to get some more length out of this. Yeah, dude, there's that one Harbor Freight Thunder, or so, I forgot the name of it. It was like black and red. It was a smaller one, like a 3/8. That thing was sick. These guys had their like $1,000 Snap-on impact guns, and I'm using this Harbor Freight one, like, like ripping it. I'm like, damn, dude, this thing is sick. It was like $80 compared to like $600 or something. I do have a really nice Snap-on 3/8 cordless or electric impact driver. I kind of wish I got the 1/2 inch. I don't know why I got a 3/8, just because it was smaller and stuff. But I should have got a 1/2 inch because I got it for taking my wheels off at the track. But I guess for my 240 it worked because I didn't want to break my aluminum lug nuts and shit half the time anyway, by accident. All right. Okay, so we did a little 60-40 tie here. We're going to use tan for the belly, olive for the top, and then for the front half, we're going to do the mix of our darker brownish color. Yeah, well, a lot of the old school dudes that I worked with, the old heads, they had American craftsman wrenches. So all the wrenches were Craftsman, but they were made in the U.S. back in like the 70s and stuff like that. So all that they had, and they also had older Snap-on stuff, but they had wrenches that were like, and I was really impressed with like the older Craftsman stuff from like the 70s and 60s. Really, really nice quality stuff. But yeah, Snap-on's ridiculous. I mean, some of the stuff is really good, but I remember some of the stuff is just like I couldn't justify it. I was like, why did I buy this? This is ridiculous. They got me on that one. Like, well, if you buy this, but you spend $1,200 on impact sockets. Something like impact sockets is generally worth it, right? Because cheap ones sometimes I would feel like they would snap. I'm like, is this thing gonna explode if I really wrench on it with a air gun or something? But they're like, you can get a free lawn chair. I'm like, oh boy, count me in. Yeah. They got too good for their own britches. Snap-on. Thank God, man. That was the one thing though. There were some shops that you worked at, they were like, if you don't have a nice looking box, you can't work here. I'm like, man, fuck you. What the hell are you talking about? Were you a mechanic shop, or was this like a freaking runway for models? Like, what are we talking about? Like, don't worry, I'll wear it out. I'm nice and clean. I wash my arms all the way up to I wash my hands all the way up to my elbows. You ain't gonna see grease or nothing, but like, because I don't have an expensive box, like I'm not, like, screw you, dude, I don't care. I was using a Sears toolbox for a while, like a cheap red Sears toolbox for like the first 3 years. Tiny little thing. People when they started working there, they would laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. We'll see how long you work here for this guy. You're gonna quit in 2 weeks. Let me guess. How much did he promise you that you were gonna make? Okay, we'll see in a couple months. God, I don't miss. See, if you find a good shop though, as a mechanic, you stick there for as long as you can, because it's like you see a lot. It's like a rotating door at a lot of places. So I used to put up with some BS just so I could not have to try and freaking find a new job. All right, we got some tan on the belly. We're gonna go some olive on top. Or, yeah, olive on top, tan on the belly. Kind of feel like I don't want too much. I'm going to take a little out of the belly here. It's really important, if you watch the EP video, it's really important to be sparse. Very easy to just add too much material in general. Yeah, well, I've also worked at a lot of shops where I've just seen stuff to where I was like, I don't even want to work here, dude. Like, for instance, if you got some old lady coming in, you know what I mean? You got to treat her right. Like, we had places where there was like some old, You know, she's like 80 years old, you know, barely drives her car. You know, I'm not going to sell her like freaking $1,200 in tires and brakes just because I'm trying to like make money this week or something. You know what I mean? You got to take care of like certain customers and stuff. And we used to have people come in that would just try and sell jobs like crazy. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This lady comes here all the time. Like, what are you saying she needs to do this, do that, do this, do that? Don't be sharking people like that. We don't do that here, you know what I mean? Yeah, the flat rate or whatever. Well, it's either you get paid by the hours earned, right? Or you just get a solid hourly rate. Some shops do that. But that's the thing, when you get paid by the amount of hours that you bill, that's where you get into where it's good, because the harder you work, the more money you make. But that's where you also get into people that, and mechanics get a bad rep, where they're trying to sell, like, you know, trying to get your mom to do like a brake job, and she's got like 8mm left. And they're like, oh, your rotors are a little bit worn. I'm like, man, get the hell out of here. She puts like 500 miles on in like a year or something, you know? Like, you've seen dudes stomp on air cabin filters. If I saw that, dude, I would say something, and if the manager didn't do anything about it, I'd quit that day, because I mean, I ain't working in a fucking place like that. I saw people do stuff. I had to tell them, like, dude. Now, that's when I worked there for a long time, and I'd worked at this one shop forever. But like, if I just started working there and I saw people doing that, you know, I might say something, and if I got a response, I'd be like, all right, cool. I mean, this might not be the place for me. Generally, most shops aren't like that, right? But I don't know. It's hard when you, especially where we are, right? It's like a summer town place, kind of. The Hamptons on Long Island. We still have 1 million people that live out here, but during the winter, things slowed down. So, like, you would make so little money in the winter time, and but the boss would be like, "All right, can you guys sweep for like 8 hours, and I'll pay you like $4 or like, you know, $5 an hour." We're like, "What? What are you talking about, dude? If there's no cars, I'm leaving. There's no work. Like, what are you talking about?" So people are like, "You expect me to not make any money all winter working out here in the Hamptons? Like, what are you talking about?" So they would just quit. But during the summer, you'd make crazy money, right? So I don't know. It's, you know, that's just part of living out here. There's a lot of people that work in restaurants. By the way, we're just doing some VTI. Sorry, I'm not talking too much about it. We're just kind of babbling. There's people that work in restaurants out here, make so much money during the summer, and then just spend the entire winter down in Florida or something, and just hang out for the winter. All right. So now we can really start shortening. I think we do one more tan and olive, and then we'll start doing the brown, perhaps. No, I mean, I guess we kind of need somewhat of a... Maybe I should have left that material on the belly a little bit longer. That's all right. Actually, it'll be easy to fix. Take 2 seconds. Because I forgot we're supposed to add barring to the belly, right? So, if that's the case, I feel like this tan material needs to be longer than this. Or at least we need to add some length to it here. Like so. Man, it was really coming down when I was starting up the stream, so I wonder how much snow is going to be on the ground by the time when I go grab a drink and take a quick break. I'm probably going to have to do some snow shoveling tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that, but problem is, if I don't, it'll just turn to ice. Sorry, I get suited up in all my old hunting gear. It's like a giant, like, hunting bib or something. Camo bib. And I just go out there wearing all my commercial clamming, like, cold weather stuff. So, at least I don't gotta worry about that. Because it was damn cold today. It was like 20 degrees. And you could feel it for sure. 5 to 13 inches. All right, yeah. Oh. Well, that made it easier, too, to not want to try and do something on Sunday. I was going to have to go get cards today or tomorrow, so I was like, all right, yeah, I don't know if that's happening. All right, so let's go ahead, and I think we could do one more tie. No, we'll start doing this now. This sort of color. And I also want to cut this down much shorter. It's kind of be a waste if we left it this long, especially because you really don't need the material to be that long to do this V-ties. And I think the real difference between the EP Minnow and the bait fish, for instance, is how it's trimmed down. So we are going to be trimming this one a lot more in the profile, but it helps by just not using as much material when tying it. This is 210 denier flat wax nylon, and this is a Wright bobbin made in the US. RITE. It's got a drag on it, just like a fishing reel. And what do you call it? The thread is the Danville flat wax nylon 210 denier, which is just a fantastic thread overall. It can be build up a little bit, but it's probably better than what you were using originally. I forgot what sort of thread you said you got or whatever. All right, damn bottom material move. Let's just redo that. Give me this. Instead of trying to fiddle with it. Also thin it out a little bit so it's not too much material on there. Again, even this is too long. We'll thin this out and get some of the shorter hairs. Yeah, so this is a flat wax nylon 210 denier, but you should probably use monofilament for this fly, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And the monofilament I use is fine. Danville's fine mono. Works really well. So we're just going to fold back our V-ties. And this fly is definitely much more like 3D profile, the Minnow, as opposed to the bait fish, more verticality to it. And ideally, we don't even really need to do too much trimming, so. Diameter, I don't know. That's the thing. Some threads have diameters. Some threads go by denier, which I think is the tensile strength or something, or the strength of the thread. So, different manufacturers use different thread diameters. So, all I can tell you is I use Danville's. And for the mono, let me see. I don't know if I actually have a Danville's mono. I have some other monos here that I've been using. I'll show you. There's the .004 uni mono, for instance. This thread, though, breaks a little bit easier than the Danville's mono, but they're fine. Now, I really haven't messed with silk threads much, to be honest with you. Maybe someone in chat has. I bet you somebody in chat has used the Nano silk thread. I certainly haven't. I'll tell you the different threads that I've used over the years. Really just the Danville and the mono. The Danville mono. But also I've experimented with the gel spun thread. I forgot what company it is. I'm sure somebody knows here. But I didn't like it, especially working with it. It like roughed up my hands a lot. But that was, I mean, that was like for spinning deer hair and stuff. It's like impossible to break as well. But once you figure out the tensile strength on a thread, you get used to the strength of it. You're gonna be able to apply as much tension as you can without breaking it, ideally. Anyways, but it's more for like deer hair spinning sort of stuff. Mopfly Productions, what's up? Nano Silk's great. Okay. You got a spool of mono, the .006. You love it. Now, I always forget, the higher the number is, the thinner it is. So .006 is thinner than .004 or what? I never buy threads with or use the diameter of threads in that way to buy them. Yo, what's up, Doc? Nanotechnology Silk is just different name for the GSP. Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's pretty similar to the GSP then, I guess. Gel spun. Yeah, it's all personal preference, right? There's so many different thread manufacturers, and even of like the Danvilles, there's a bunch of different types of the Danville threads that are like this, the 210. And I prefer the flat wax nylon over the Flymaster Plus, for instance. But there's like so many different types of threads, and really personal preference. Some threads are too bulky for some people. Sometimes they're too thin, you know, or break too easily, or this or that. Or I like a thread that's nice and strong. I mean, I don't know if you could see. I can physically bend a tarpon hook with the thread. You know what I mean? Because I'll show you right now. That's not the vise moving. That's the hook moving. This is a regal. The hook never moves in a regal. So I like being able to put a bunch of pressure, because that not only makes a saltwater fly more durable without having to use glue as much. You don't have to use super glue on every single step. You know what I mean? Because the wax thread digs into itself when you apply that much pressure. But it can build up somewhat too much if you wrap too much thread. So I don't know if it's the best thread for a beginner, but like you see, I don't need a lot of thread wraps, right? And I put a lot of pressure on them as well, which is very important. The Vivus gel spun. That's what I was using. The Vivus gel spun. Yeah, I have a bunch of it, dude. I ordered like so many rolls of it, and I just didn't like it. It also like frays. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was really rough in my hands, and my hands dry up naturally during the winter and stuff. It was just like roughing my hands up. It was very because you see what I'm doing a lot of times. I could be doing this and this right here. I'll have this thread rubbing up against my hands at like all times, so I'm like holding the spool with my hands and applying a bunch of pressure. So it was just it was like not comfortable to tie with for like 10 hours, you know what I mean? Yes, it is very slippery, that gel spun, the Vivus. It would like spin on the hook. It was hard at times to actually get it to like catch. So what I would do is I would tie the main part of the fly with this, and then when I was doing the deer hair spinning, I would use the gel spun. But even then, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna use this, dude. It works. It's not deer hair spinning is not my mainstay anyway. I do quite a bit of it, but it's not the main thing I do. So you know what? I did build up a little bit more thread than I wanted there, so we'll back that off. All right, so now we could probably do our I guess our last tie here. Because we are going to do a weed guard on this. Might as well just use the rest of this here. Take a little from the belly, put it on top. this back like so. Make sure it's spread somewhat evenly. This is where the mono helps, for instance, on a fly like this where you don't want too much thread buildup, you know? And especially where you don't want to see the thread once we trim it, but it'll be fine because we're especially going to glue some eyes on. And let's put the mono. We could do the mono after. I'm just going to do it right now. I don't really care if I'm fiddling with it when it comes to trimming. Wax helps a lot to stop with the GSP, yeah. Do they sell a wax version of the GSP or no? You can see that's one of the reasons why I love using wax thread. It just catches. It's really good in general. I love wax thread. One of my favorites. I'll show you how to make my little weed guards nice and easy. Got these little jeweling pliers and they have this flat area right there. I'm gonna pinch this, squeeze it. Make sure we pinch the two to where that really gets that nice and flat. It's kind of hard to do to get it to where it's straight and you can actually catch it, but if I put it in the back there, it does a good job. So I've flattened it pretty good now in general, and now what I can do is bend it. I just grab it and bend it and push down. I want to say this is the standard one. They also make a Magnum. I would get a Magnum if you're saltwater tying, but I forget what size this is, to be honest with you. I think it's the standard size, but if you're saltwater fly tying, there's nothing wrong with going with the larger size. I should really get another right bobbin at some point. In fact, we should... It'll happen where we just get in touch with them and then something. We should be working with right bobbin, honestly. Do a little figure eights. I will say they're very, very nice. They're awesome people. They have great customer service. Bunch of people in the chat have used them over the years. Any issues they had, they reached out. They immediately helped out. It's a great company, made in the US. I mean, I only work or recommend in general companies that I actually use and trust, so we're not affiliated with Right Bobbin anyway, so they're just fantastic. Close to a decade? Hell yeah. I burn through... Well, I don't burn through them. I break these things all the time. Really, just this part is the issue. There was a time where I was staying in... this girl I was dating, she was staying in a basement. And I dropped my bobbin on the basement concrete floor and, like, pushed in the ceramic somewhat. And I was tying at the Edison show in New Jersey. And the owner or somebody at Right Bobbin walked by and... noticed that it was like slightly depressed and was like, hold on, I'll fix that real quick, and came back and like brought me a new one and everything and fixed my old one for me. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. I was tying out saltwater edge booth, but they're fantastic. I've been gluing this to stop it. Nowadays I actually like it where it moves, so maybe one day it'll be the Li Flies Mike signature model where it actually moves. I say that I like it, but once I glue it, it's nice. But I've been so used to it just moving now, I kind of like that it moves. It's a fluid. It's a fluid bobbin. Becomes one with your wrist. Very Mike Ross. Especially when there's titanium white. No, there's no local company. I don't even know where they're located, but I just see them at the fly tying shows. We have one in New Jersey that I live in Long Island, so that's a bit of a drive for me to go to Jersey. But there's one that I usually go to most years. I haven't been in a little bit. I might go this year. We'll see. But I usually go when other people drive. If somebody's like, hey, I'll drive, I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll go. Otherwise, I'm like, I gotta drive to Jersey, dude. JB Weld? Yeah, I guess JB Weld is probably a good idea. Okay. Let's do a little trimming. Yeah, so I think I could have probably... I should have left the material lawner on the belly here so we could have had more of that pronounced tan. That's okay. Looks good either way. What is there, like super glue on my scissors? There we go. Something like gumming it up. This fly is much more trimmed up. We'll do the sides after. And then for this, I mean, you could just leave it like this. I actually have a really nice 3D profile. I will just thin it out ever so slightly. Just like this. Just a little bit. But it actually has a really nice 3D profile. But just so that it sinks a little bit better, we'll just ever so slightly thin it out. Like that. I used to have such a hard time, like, trying to perfect trimming the fly and stuff. And then after trimming, literally, almost at, like, I don't know. It had to have been 500-600 kinky muddlers or something, dude. What do you call it? Yeah, I just was like, all right, we got to make this much quicker, much easier. Just go for it. I've never noticed your collector thing for materials. What do you mean? So order from their site? What's that? Right, Bobbin? If you can order from their site, then yeah, go for it. Tell them I sent you. What do you mean collector thing for materials? Oh, you're talking about the wastebasket. Yeah. You can get this on something like JS Fly Fishing or anywhere, Lure Parts Online or something like that. It's like, this is just a generic cheap thing that sits on the vise via a little mechanism there. Go through these every couple years. This one, as you can see, is completely broken at this point and stuff, but I use it so often and empty it out so often and all that. So, doesn't look pretty. That's why you don't see it in the videos, because I take it off and move it off to the side so you don't have to see this thing. Oh, what do we got? Oh, Jen.
Merry Christmas, Christmas tree emoji, and Happy New Year, Mike and chat.
Whoa, Christmas tree emoji. Yo, thank you, Brian and Jen. Appreciate that, my friend. I forgot we had Brian. I forgot about him for a sec. Yo, Merry Christmas, Jen. Appreciate that, my friend. 80 months with the tier 1 on Twitch. By the way, in case we, it was kind of quiet when we started on Twitch, so in case you haven't, !play. I think I'm the only one in here. So we do have our FFG Friday Fly giveaway. We'll roll a dice to see whether we go follower or sub first. And we're going to have our giveaway on YouTube with the last video of the month coming up here. Probably on like Wednesday or something will be the video soon. Yeah. Well, this is probably like 3 or 4 years old by now. And yeah, every time just pretty much time flies 330 days out of the year, probably at least. Is there 30 days out of the year where I don't tie flies? I don't even know. Probably not. I probably tie flies every day. Whoa, mall dropper. Hold up. Hold the phone. We got a red alert. Red alert. Do I have a red alert sound effect? Hold on. No, I got machine guns, though. Demons? How about a laugh? Red alert! Red alert! It's mole dropper. You son of a bitch. I bought these fucking things. Just part of my French, but I bought these things. And I think I bought them like a year or two ago, and I don't think I've seen you in the chat since or something. Whatever, I forgot. I bought these at some point. I was like, I'm gonna buy these just for mole dropper. And I'm not even gonna use them. That's right. That's right. Not even gonna use them. let them sit there. What's going on, Malt Dropper? How you doing? Might use it, not on this fly. The other thing is, as fun as these are, talking to Mark Sadati, the reason why these don't work very well is they just break so easily and they get full of water. So they pretty much last for like 1 or 2 casts, and then they're just pretty much, they don't work. So they're fun, but they're not very good. Until somebody figures out a better rattle eye, you know, it like lasts for like an hour and then it's completely trashed. They usually get smashed or they hit something or hits a rock, whatever, and it just, you know. Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Hopefully everything gets better. Or everything is going better. I'm sorry to hear that. I just wanted to show you. But we're glad to see it. Hope everything's going well. Otherwise. Coating them with resin, yeah. Well, I think we don't have a fly, really, like, a fly doll eyes or whatever they call it. Like, some point somebody will make rattle eyes or something, you know what I mean? Eventually. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, we'll use them at some point. We shall use them eventually. Again, it's more like a fun thing to do, you know what I mean? Not very practical, but then again, the eyes don't make a difference half the time anyway, so you can go ahead and throw some googly eyes on there. I'm gonna use regular 3D eyes for these. If I could only find them, that would be nice. Well, you know, let's use, yeah, here we go. Perfect. These are the ones I was using for the size 2 odds. Whatchamacallits. Kinky Mothers. Them's the names. I mean, we do have these, but these are just way too big, I think, right? Let's take a look. I think they are kind of big. But screw it, we'll use them. We'll go large and in charge because it's fun. Anyone get any fishy stuff for Christmas? We don't do too much for Christmas around here anymore, but what do you call it? For my a couple days early for my birthday because it's snowing, we got some Japanese food. So I had some sushi today. I had spicy crunchy tuna and eel avocado. But did anyone chat get any fly fishing goodies? If anyone's getting any Christmas gifts for me, it's gonna be me, so. I pretty much don't buy anything for myself nowadays at all. If anything, maybe really I'll do something like card game related, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like Magic or something every once in a while. Those are like my guilty pleasures, but pretty much everything I do nowadays is like related in some way, shape, or form to like either fly tying or like miniature related for the channel and stuff. So like pretty much just don't buy anything nowadays other than fly tying materials and stuff. Last thing I bought was some cheap Yu-Gi-Oh cards that came out recently in a little set, and then stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh, so that's what I get. Alright, let's slap this on here. Go big eye. Kind of like some reef fish or something. Other than your fly tying kit, your fiance. Oh, dude, I just put glue on my microphone. No, well, not the mic, but the mic cover. Okay, thank God. It's actually on the plastic part. I'll clean that off here. The E6000, man, it just doesn't stop flowing out of the tube. Once it starts going, dude, it's like you got to try and like squeeze it back. You kind of just have to clean it and jam the cap on it. It has a mind of its own, this bottle. It's so annoying. Let me clean the mic off because the mic got... Damn. Got damn glue all over it. I gotta ask too. I want to make a post on YouTube, but I want to see. Wait, just hold on. Let me mute the mic. All right. I don't know why I didn't decide to mute it before I started cleaning all the glue off the mic, but. She got me stuff to make gurglers and shrimp. Very nice, dude. Does an 8th army count? Oh my god. Got a heated vest. Oh hell yeah, that's awesome. You gonna bring that down to the Bahamas or whatever? You put 2 googly eyes on your Vice and just leave them there. We should. But the Regal is very. I treat it like a. It's like my Snap-on box. You know what I mean? Except the Snap-on box I wanted to resell. This I treat like it's a some sort of holy item. You know what I mean? Son got you fingerless wool gloves. Okay. C&F bobbins, a saltwater heavy one, and a standard one. Oh, very cool. Hell yeah, dude. Very nice, very nice, very nice. You would think I would own multiple bobbins after tying flies for a living for almost 10 years now. But I don't. I still have to swap the thread out every time. Yeah, I'm definitely not Sims model. I'm like the. Yeah. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's Mike. I'll just see like an old broken pickup truck pulling up to the inlet, you know, joint in my ear or something, ready to catch some albies when I'm like 60 years old or something. Like ragged jeans. Like, hey, what's up? I'm not like the sort of fly tire with like the button-up shirt. You know what I mean? And like suspenders and like, you know, like going to at like fly shows or something. You know? Got a beanie on. You know what I mean? Yo, Traveler, what's up, dude? How you doing? How your streams been going? Here, I'll show you too. I wanted to show you. So we got a area for people to promote their live streams. And it is self-promotion right here. So if you're going live or something, you could share the link to your stream, for instance, or your videos or something like that, right here in self-promotion. Preferably something fishing related, but just letting you know. So that's where you could post it. Yo, damn, dude. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, is that the fly that they sent you? Okay. All right. That was wait. Is the first did you actually tie this one? Did you tie this one? No, we prefer OnlyFans links. In fact. Okay. I see. The first one is how it comes. Okay. Because after looking at your first couple of flies, I was going to say, if you tied that one right there, you literally almost tied it better than me. Okay. So the whole idea, you see all this thread right here? You don't want that. You don't want that. You want the thread to be right there to end. Other than that, this looks fantastic. I mean, it'll catch fish, right? Yeah, it'll hunt. No resin, yep. But you see how the way this fly is tied, it pretty much starts about here. Right there. So the fly starts about here, right? And you start with your one tie, next tie on top of it. a little bit longer. Next tie on top of it, a little bit longer. Next tie on top of it, a little bit longer. Next tie on top of it, a little bit shorter. Next tie on top of that, a little bit shorter. Next tie on top of that, a little bit shorter. You want 6 to 7 thread wraps, 6 to 7 thread, whatever it may be. So it needs to be really, really tight, and you want your thread wrappings to be tight in between. So you want pretty much this material. If this wasn't covered in resin, you would see the material sticking up like this. So the material would be right here, super puffy, like that. So what you need to work on, and it'll totally work, but what you need to work on is not having the thread wrapping like this. So you need to just think about wrapping with like 5 or 6 thread wraps at most, and keep them right on top of each other. Not even, maybe 3 or 4 or like 5 thread wraps. Because you got to figure the whole thing, the eye should be right about here, and the resin head comes back to something like this. So it should be like this is the profile that you're looking for. You see what I'm talking about? And the eye, you want the eye right about here-ish somewhere. And you want to start your ties somewhere right about where the barb of the hook is on a hook like this. And then you start doing the high ties where they start, and you just tie them directly on top of each other, one after another, one after another, one after another. Well, I'm just saying 5 per tie, but you need to work on, in general, and this is as a new fly tie or something that you're going to get. But I remember you were asking, you're like, I want to know what I could do better. Don't hold back or whatever. I'm not, oh, it looks amazing, It does look good. But, what do you call it? Work on controlling your thread wraps to where they don't you're not wrapping too far forward and back. They're like right on top of each other. And work on using less thread wrapping to where you can get that profile. So, other than that, looks fantastic. Like, this will work, right? And what you do is, when you tie the fly, you could just leave the eyes off, or you could put them on like this and then just glue them once you get the UV resin. But again, the whole idea is that the material, when it's unglued, it should be flowing like this. It should almost be like very poofy right here, because when you pull it back and glue it, it kind of achieves this sort of shape right here. And again, even this one right here, the glue should be further back. The glue should come back like this. This is just a commercially tied one. That being said, they almost tied it just as good as me. It was probably some 9-year-old in South Vietnam or something. And then David K. Smith, yeah, looking great, dude. Fantastic. I love it. He's been streaming some fly tying. Check them out. These are sick. These are for giant trevally in Hawaii. You gotta love it. Yeah, well, I've done in-person classes for fly tying, but perhaps maybe online. I've said it before. Somebody mentioned about it. They were going to email me or something on stream, but they never did. But I have done in-person fly tying lessons and classes. I could certainly do it online via Discord or like Zoom or something like that. Ideally, the other person would have a camera as well, because I want to see what they're doing. But I mean, we pretty much do that essentially via video form. But that would be great. I would love to do that, because it would also be a way for me to make some more money. So if any of you folks are interested in that, one-on-one or like group, I don't know. We could always do group something or whatever. But if you folks would be interested, then you could always hit me up. We got nothing on but time around here on our hands. Around here. All right. Let's go ahead and add some barring. Unfortunately, this marker tip is a little bit wide. I should use a thinner marker. I'm just going to be lazy, though, and do it. But, yes. We always... I don't have it, like, listed anywhere or anything like that, but... I've had groups... I've had a couple groups of, like, people come and do fly tying lessons here at the house that have paid. Yeah, black barring looks nice on that tan. I kind of like that, actually. It's a fun little look. I gotta go tarpon fishing one day. Well, that's what I mean, you know what I mean? It's, I don't really mention it that often if anyone really wants to do it, but I understand. It's like kind of hard to justify spending, you know, however much money per hour for one-on-one fly tying lessons, but in this economy nowadays, but if anyone's ever interested, it's always an option. You can always just watch my videos, and that'll help you out for the most part. Now that you need to actually joke about on Twitch, or say that as a joke, because they'll actually ban you. Even though there are probably girls like that spam their OnlyFans links or something in chat. I saw there was that one girl that supposedly got permanently banned, that got unbanned recently. If you know any Twitch drama, you know what I'm talking about. But they were joking. They were like, the Twitch goon moderators are at it. Are at it again. They can't help themselves. Anytime you're in Florida, we can go for tarpon. We don't have a boat, but I have a spot to wade fish. Okay, all right. You trying to get me eaten by a freaking bull shark? That was something. We were wading in Florida, and we were in like waist deep water wading, and the whole time I'm like, all right, we could actually get attacked by a shark out here. Like, I don't know if we should be doing this. Like, we're like in New York, we don't have to worry about that. So we're like, yeah, we can just wade out into the bay and do whatever. I'm like, over here, I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be this far out. We were walking through this like through this park. It was like a state park or a Florida park, but you could fish in it. It was super, super shallow. I don't even know. There probably were fish there if we had like a flats boat or something. But we decided to wade this entire park. It was like a estuary or something. And we're walking, and it's super shallow in most of the areas. It's probably maybe up to our knees. But we're like walking through brackish water in Florida through like the estuaries, and there's like whatever. It was really cool. And there's like oyster beds were like going around. But we didn't like try and cross it, you know, or whatever. All of a sudden, like 15 feet to the left of me, there's freaking dolphins. And we were in like knee deep water, and they're like, they must have been in like a channel or something. And I was like, oh, okay. But it scared the hell out of me, because I was like, dude, the whole time I was freaking out a little bit. You know what I mean? I know bull sharks are rare and stuff, but there's a much higher chance of like having a bull shark take a chunk out of your leg while you're walking around in brackish water somewhere in Florida than being in New York, at least, that is. So there is a possibility that could happen. And but yeah, that scared the crap out of me. And then we had to like wade across this area and stuff. But I was like, oh, I thought it was like super shallow. And then I'm like, oh, there's like dolphins in here, like feet away from me. It must be pretty deep. You can't see a damn thing. You know? It's not like crystal clear water or anything. Anyways, this thing came out pretty good. I like it. Came out pretty good. Let's compare to the saltwaterflies.com one, shall we? It's the original EP fly. What's this called? Backcountry bait? No, that was the other one. Everglades Minnow. Not the exact color, but it's not too bad. Pretty close. By the way, how cool are these fish, huh? Nah, what the dolphins ain't gonna... Dolphins gonna do. Dolphins are pretty chill for the most part. Except if you're another sea animal, and then they may assault you in a way that you don't want. Apparently. Yeah, I feel like I should have went with more tan potential. Maybe we should have started with tan, in fact, and just did the olive on top. And I guess we should have went with more of the brownish, tannish or something. Oh yeah, well stingrays are also an issue for sure. When I went to Aruba and stuff and I was even just swimming, I was just like, I'm going to shuffle my feet, because I knew... I actually brought Orvis wading shoes, particularly for that trip. And even here in New York, I would freak out about that. even though there's not many stingrays and stuff, just crabs and whatnot, I would shuffle my feet just so I can like spook anything that's hiding in the sand in front of me. But the Bahama Shuffle or something, where essentially what you do is instead of lifting your feet up so you don't step on a stingray spine, you shuffle your feet, so you drag your feet along the sand, so you can never step onto a spine from a stingray. You just you bump the stingray, and the stingray swims away or something. What's the comment on the colors? You should tie the fly. You should tie a fly with the colors she ties made by. Oh, she ties flies. Yeah, she's great. For a pattern called Marabou Madness, cyan, blue, and yellow. What the hell color is cyan? Is cyan like dark blue? You can't be throwing a cyan at me. Like, oh, you got any cyan material? Like, that's like a goddamn... If you're painting on a canvas, you're using cyan. Come on, what are we talking about? Did she actually label it as cyan? Of course. It's blue, right? Yeah, it's like a turquoise. Just say turquoise or some shit. Cyan. What are we talking about here? Where do you work at? Freaking Home Depot or something? In the paints department? So what do you want? I might have some turquoise-ish color, but not in this stuff, unfortunately. And unfortunately, no blue with the EP either. Cyan. He hit us with a cyan. Says the chartreuse guy. Listen, in the world of fly tying, chartreuse is one of the most prevalent colors. Lefty Cray, one of the greatest fly tyers of all time, said, if it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use. Outside of the world of fly tying, somebody be like, this is green. What are you talking about? What the hell is chartreuse? Isn't that a drink? And yes, it is an alcoholic beverage that is bright green, chartreuse color, but it's also a color. I think we learned about that recently, right? It's an alcoholic beverage. It's like a bright green alcoholic beverage. That's what I mean. In the world of fly tying. Do you have any cyan bucktail? The guy'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Cyan? What'd you call me? Yeah, highlighter green or something. Exactly. Made in France. It is made in France. The color cyan, right? I remember I watched like a whole thing on it. It's like paint. Whatchamacalls it? Yeah. There's probably already a fly called the whatchamacallit, Jim. I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably already a fly, and it's probably like a trout fly or something. I would not be surprised. If not, you should get on it. It's a good name for Umpqua. I only have like one fly that I quote-unquote made, if you will, and it's really just a mix of other flies. I'll show you, though. Oh, that's right. I don't think I ever did a new video on it. We only have the old ones. By the way, this was... at... Where is it? February. So from the start of this year, we made all this plus the other page and the other page or whatever. Ah, here we go. Break into a Mountain Dew. Whoa. Ghillie suits. Like, what was that? What the hell was that commercial? It's like, was that AI? What was that commercial? It was like 4 dudes in ghillie suits popped out with Mountain Dews. This is an old video, by the way. When was this? 5 years ago. But it's pretty much what it is. Like, imagine being done with the fly and leaving it at that angle for multiple minutes. Like, why not turn it so it's more visible like this? Oh, this guy's sick, dude. This guy's awesome. I actually haven't watched the full video. I watched a the battle, or I watched a battle shorts or something. But this guy's sick. He's some Polish guitar player. He's awesome. Right? I think he's Polish. It always says Retro Poland. Maybe he's not Polish. I don't know. But essentially, this is a flat-wing tail, bucktail deceiver, or marabou, bucktail deceiver body, and then Senno's laser dub folded back. So tied 50-50 and folded back. Yeah, he's got some sick shit, dude. He really does. All the way, shout out to Numnot the Nummy. Shrining it up. But yeah, what do you call it? This is my only quote-unquote original pattern, and it's a mix of like 3 different flies. So I'll tell this story because I've told it a million times, and I'll tell it again. I created a fly called the Deer Hair Deceiver. It had a deer hair tail. It had bucktail, and then it had a deer hair head, right? And I used the backside of a bucktail because I didn't even have deer hair. I posted it online on this website. It was the Fly Tying database or something. I forgot what it was called. But it was like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was one of the only websites online where anyone could just post a photo of their own fly and list the name, the materials and how to tie it. It was a sick website. And it was like, when I talk about this was dial-up internet, Windows 98, early, probably one of the first websites about fly tying that you could interact with. And I had a couple different flies on there, but I had the Deer Hair Deceiver, and it had a yellow hackle, right, with some bucktail, yellow bucktail, and the head was brown. It's called the Deer Hair Deceiver. Some dude reached out to me and offered to put my fly in a book. So he sent me an email because you could message people on the website, and it was via my AOL email. He's like, hey, I want to put your fly in this book. We're writing a book about the muddler minnow. And I looked him up. He had multiple books that were successful books about trout fly tying. I was like, this is a real dude. Okay, he's not like trying to scam me or something. This is like back in the late 90s, so you still had the idea of scams, but nowadays the internet's full of scams. But he's like, cool. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm like 10 years old. He's like, what? I need to talk to your parents then. So he talked to my parents. We sent him the fly, sent him the instructions. I sent him 2 versions of the fly, right? Never heard back from him. The book never got made or something. I don't know. Maybe the publishing didn't go through, whatever. Years later, I don't even know his name. I couldn't even tell you, dude. It might be somewhere in my AOL emails or something, because I probably still have the same AOL email from when I was a kid. But I have no idea. There's some dude. He had multiple books on like about trout flies and like fly fishing for trout, like 3 or 4 that were pretty successful. And I'm looking through this Lefty Cray book that I have. I've shown it before on stream. It's from like the 90s or 80s. And I'm just looking through it one day, and this is when I was like a teenager or something, or maybe when I was even a little bit older. And what do I see? I see a yellow tail, brown head fly. I swear to God, it looked exactly like the fly I tied, and it was called the Deer Hair Deceiver by John blah 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 whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, unknowingly, because I never seen this book before, unknowingly created the same exact fly with the same exact colors and the same exact name as this dude who did it 30 years before me. So that's when I stopped caring about coming up with my own flies, because there's a good chance some dude did it 40 years ago. And, you're essentially just doing what he did and without even knowing. So I'll never forget that, though. That literally, I was all about coming up with my own flies when I was a kid. After that, I was like, I don't care anymore. Like it was the exact color, the exact name, everything. I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to focus on fly tying, not worried about creating flies, because there's a good chance if I think I did something original, somebody's probably already done it before. Unless you're completely revolutionizing it by creating new materials and stuff. You know what I mean? Just putting material onto the hook, somebody has done what you are thinking about. They've already done it. Even Bob Popovich's with hollow flies, the Thunder Creek Minnow, I forgot her name, who created it. She tied the material forward and then folded it back, but then wrapped a red gill on it. But that was literally a hollow tie, essentially. And then Bob Popovich took inspiration from that and created the hollow tie. You know what I mean? And even the Game Changer, I believe you can find and you could see there are books. I think it's like England or somewhere, but they were creating either pike flies or trout flies and creating articulated shanks by bending metal and essentially creating like a Game Changer like fly. God knows how many years before someone like Blaine Chocolate did. Now, obviously, Blaine Chocolate like revolutionized and did it his way and all that. But anything that you can think that you're doing originally, somebody's probably done it. Some like old Irishman or something, salmon fisherman has done it. You know, like, who knows? So that was just such an eye-opener because I was so into coming up with my own flies and stuff and like, oh, I'd be so sick. I want to be Bob Popovich one day and like do this and do that, be famous. And then I learned none of that really matters, right? Because somebody else has done it. So I'm just going to try and tie flies as best as I can, you know. You have a bat fly no one's ever tied before? We tied an articulated bat fly on Halloween. I don't know if I got to see yours, but I got video proof and a date, so don't make me take you to court. Do you guys remember the articulated winged bat fly we tied on that one Halloween? You couldn't fish it, but or you could, I guess. But Lefty was ahead of his time. I've seen guys trying to do it nowadays, but back in the 1700s, William Blacker was tying crazy salmon and pike flies. That's what I mean, dude. Who knows. You know, obviously it's not the same, but I don't know. It just humbled me to the core. You know what I mean? Yeah, post it in the Discord. Let's take a look. Hell yeah. Well, we'll take a look when we get back. I actually got to go grab another Schweppes. We're running low here. So, chat, we'll just take a quick break. We're going to play our Albie highlight. The glue is drying on this. What we could do is when we get back, maybe we'll throw the EP fly I tied the other day in the tank. Or you guys saw that. But I don't know. We'll use the swim tank at some point because I set it up. But we'll take a quick break when we play the Albie highlight. I'll be back in just a moment. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Stay tight, alright? Yeah, keep it tight. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Aiden. Knuckle buster. Are you good? Do you need me to do anything?
Yeah, I might need a ride. Yes.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna turn now.
I'm gonna try and get on the bow.
Yeah, get on the bow. Alright, you're doing good. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna move us away.
Is that a little one?
No, that's a nice one.
Oh, let's go!
Come here, hold next to our alley. Good job.
That's sick.
Alright. Nice.
Let's go! Woo! Albie slap!
Good job, dude. Looking down the barrel of a 12 gauge little toonie, bro. On the alligator too.
Oh my god, dude! What the fuck? Woohoo! Oh my god. Yep. Oh my god! I gotta turn the boat so I can cast. Oh my god, dude! Alright, get back to catching it, Diego.
You're gonna kill him now. There's a shark.
Frigates!
Albie?
Frigates.
Frigate.
All right, we're back. Stuart, what's going on? How you doing? Waddington Shanks developed a 1950 for salmon and steelheads. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna get absolutely destroyed on my desk condition. Yeah, believe my desk isn't much better. Thunder Creek Fly. Keith Fulsher 70s? Really? No, there's no way. I thought it was a woman that. The Thunder Creek Minnow, I think is what it's called, right? Yeah, Thunder Creek Minnow. Who is it designed by? Oh, it was tied by Keith Fulcher. I don't know why. I thought it was tied by somebody else earlier, but there you go. So this is just pretty much a hollow tie, and then you wrap on top of it. It's pretty interesting fly, honestly. It's pretty cool. I thought it was tied earlier, or tied in the 50s by a woman, but I guess that might just be a different fly. Probably think of something else. Whoa! Well, yeah, your desk looks like shit. No, I'm joking. Damn, that thing is sick. That thing is sick. Look at that. Now, the question is, have you fished this thing? Yeah, it's more artistic. Yeah. I have ideas for making it functional. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if you took away the wings, it's a fishable fly, right? The wings, though, makes it... So if you could figure out a way to do the wings... Which the most practical thing is like feathers, but then you're not getting the realism of the wings, right? You know, but that looks sick. It looks a hell of a lot better than what we tied on Halloween, I'll tell you, years ago. Very nice. Yeah, I don't know what you could do for the wings, huh? The problem is, like, you could even use vinyl cut wings or something. But, like, you're getting in the stabilization ideas, you know, right? You just found that outside. Yeah, he just found that outside and put a hook in it. What are you doing playing with that dead bat, dude? What are you, a taxidermist? I hope it's preserved. You're gonna get rabies. Latex gloves for the wings? Yeah. It looks sick, but it'd get destroyed, right? I love flies like that. I stick to more practical stuff, but I do appreciate the artistic flies. They look awesome. All right, let's go ahead and tie a larger EP fly. Oh, I also forgot. We got to do our giveaway on Twitch. I forgot we were... Sorry, Twitch. My chat's just filled with YouTube nowadays. Here we go. All right. We're going to Marble Music. You know how it goes. Twitch, Marble Race. We do our giveaways on YouTube via videos, but we've been doing giveaways on Twitch via Marble Races, where all you gotta do is type !play in the chat and be following the stream or subscribe to the stream. That being said, we also need to figure out subscriber race or follower race. Evens, if it's evens, we'll do subscriber race. It's even. Subscriber race first, follower race after. Them's the rules. We let the dice decide around here. Use cyan. I don't have no damn cyan. Ron, that's the wrong thing. All right? I don't get my fly time materials from France. I got green, orange, yellow, pink, olive, black, tan, and white for this particular material. Cyan. Get the cyan out of here. Get it out of here. I know. We're working on a budget around here, right? Until Enrico Plaguzzi starts sending me cyan EP fiber in the mail. You never know. I might just get a call from him one day. All right. Marble Music. Pink and chartreuse. What, you want to go Tutti Frutti style, huh? Well, hold the damn phone. I wanted to go more realistic, but we can incorporate those colors as well. That being said, it's marble time. That's right, folks. It is Friday night marble time. Start it up. Crowdfunding cyan would be allowed. All right, and they're off, folks. You know the rules. First marble in the pit. It's going to be winning some flies. Turn it up, Jerry. Come on. It's Friday night. We cracked open the White Claws. Now we have the forbidden paddle section. Mall Dropper and Leans in getting engaged in a fist fight. We'll see if that slows him down. Doc in the lead, though. I'm just there for fun, potentially kicking someone off the track. Jin, though, catching up close behind. Mall Dropper, seemingly, potentially, maybe a pipe to the shins against Leans. I don't know. We allow all sorts of physical contact. This is a full contact sport. Doc getting hung up in the paddle sections, though. We'll see if Jin can make his way through quicker. It looks like he does. The paddle sections are known to make and break people's marble runs. Mall Dropper, though, getting a little boost, looks like. I'm just there to show off as usual. Doc looking good, though. Oh! He got airborne for a sec. I think one of the pegs got him, but it looks like he stabilized. Again, the first name with either blue, pink, or green is going to be winning some flies here. Mall Dropper is just warming up, as you can see. He can't win this technically, so he doesn't want to take all the glory away. He's in for the next race. Leans, though. Leans with the moves through the paddle section, now approaching the area. If you ever went to like a county fair and they have those play pits. But Jin coming with max velocity. It's all going to come down to this. Is Leans going to get hung up? No, Leans makes it through the pegs. Congratulations, Jin. Very nice try. Very nice try. Congratulate. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you go to like a, like we had the carnival would come to town. And there'd be like the scary, spooky place where it's those big metal trailers that you have to walk through, and there's like an area with like a bunch of things hanging. You'd have to like make it through. That's what I always think of when I see that, you know? So, all right, Leans, congratulations. Random track. All right, Jerry, calm down. We're going back to fly time mode. Everybody chill out. Oh, we got an intro. Damn, bro, we got an intro to this one. Check this out. Cutscene. We got a cutscene. Sheesh. Somebody went all out on this one. All right. Well, we're going to have this one open. This will be the follower race next. I'm pretty certain I still have your shipping address, Leans, on Discord, if I'm not wrong. If it's changed, you can send it to me. Otherwise, I'll just use the same one. All right, and we're going back to fly time. Look, Rosenbauer's cool, all right? You'll also find a lot more people watching, probably, on his channel, so. You know what I mean? Who's winning in the end? We are, because we're rocking out. Generic rock music. Nutter Butter Baits. Would you like to get your nut on? Make sure to use Nutter Butter. The best peanut bunker imitations around. Okay, sounds good, sounds good. All right, these are the colors we got. Yellow, chartreuse, pink, orange, tan, olive, and I have some black. And some purple. Everyone put in the chat, I'm going to be using white for the base of the body. So there's going to be white tied and then white for the belly. What colors should we put on top? You tell me out of this. And I'll layer it. We'll layer it. Oh, yeah. Rosenbauer's the man. But, you know. That's right. You can poke a little fun. It's all good. All of a sudden, like all my windows get broken in, and like it's the meme of that SWAT team where the SWAT team's like falling through the roof, and it's like Orvis. They like gag me, bound me, take me away. Better watch out. Ah, that's right. I don't. Orvis just sells sweaters nowadays, anyways. Last time we went to an Orvis shop, the fly tying section looked like if you ever went to like a store. Let me think of a good analogy. What's a thing where you go to a store and they have a tiny little section in the back where it's like 1 or 2 shelves, you know, or like a tiny little thing, and like where it's like 10% of the store, it's like hidden off in the corner. What's an example of that where you go to a store and you see something like? I'm trying to think of a good example of that. You know what I mean? But that's what going to Orvis was like. I think it was like 10 years ago. Before that, half the store was fly fishing stuff. And the other half was dog beds and sweaters. Then we went, and it was literally like 90% women's and men's sweaters. And it was like 5% fly tying and 5% fly fishing, hidden off in the corner. And they had like saddle hackle from like 10 years ago. It looked like it was falling apart. I'm like, damn, bro. The clearance section? Yeah, I guess a good way is describing it like the clearance section. Even the clearance section gets more love, I feel like. Now, this is my local Orvis. You can go up to Orvis's up in the Catskills, and it's like going into a log cabin for trout fishermen. It's sick. But this was an Orvis on Long Island, out west. NLBN calls that gelato. Caught my biggest tarpon on that color, 5-inch paddle tail. What's that color? That is. Oh, you posted it? Let me take a look. Pink, chartreuse, and purple? Okay. In what order, though? Is the question. You gotta go with the cyan with the googly eyes. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, you. Why don't I have I should have my laugh button easier located. Your local Orvis store closed? Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know. I think nowadays to be like a, you know, that's like an archaic business almost. It's like rich people clothes, Murano wool sweaters, and like high quality dog beds, or fly fishing and fly tying stuff. And I feel like back in the day, you would get the guys that were wealthy businessmen spending thousands of dollars on fly rods. That still happens, but go down to the Bahamas. I feel like most people that fly fish nowadays are your average Joe schmoes and ladies and whoever that back in the 90s, and there were you didn't have to be rich to fly fish, but you would go into an Orvis in Manhattan somewhere or something in the catalogs. It felt like it was catered towards like wealthier people, because everything was priced so expensive. It was not cheap to get into fly tying and fly fishing. Nowadays, I feel like it's easier to get into the sport. You can get a $100 fly rod, you can get a fly line for $60, you know, or a reel or whatever, and you're in the same price for a quality spin fishing rod. There was like a stigma that it was like, you know, you had to spend like thousands of dollars to fly fish and stuff. And I'm sure it was somewhat different, but that's just what I felt growing up as a kid, like reading catalogs and magazines. It was different looking at Cabela's, but looking at like an Orvis or an LL Bean or whatever, you know what I mean? It's not cheap. You're like, this is back in the 90s. You know, fly fishing rods were $500. You're like, holy God, like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Well, yeah, especially imagine you're buying super high quality stuff that's not made in the U.S. or something. You know what I mean? That being said, I still love Orvis rods and reels. Some of my favorite stuff is the old bat and kill reels and stuff, you know? But, that's how you felt also? Yeah, I feel like there was that. It was definitely catered towards that, because it would be like, well, you can go bone fishing for like $3,000, and this is like in the 90s. For like $3,000 or $4,000, you can go bone fishing and stay at this lodge, and your wife can go to the spa. And I'm like, this does not feel like it's marketed towards lower middle income people. You know what I mean? So I don't know how my parents were able to. I mean, They definitely did not have a lot of money, but I'm sure they probably spent way more money than they wanted to helping me buy bucktails and feathers and crap and all that. But they were very supportive. So if I ever have kids one day, I'll have to bite the bullet and do the same, because buying me like probably $100 feathers and stuff, my dad was probably like, "What the fuck are we doing?" You know what I mean? I looked up Carrie Stevens, and you're right. She tied reverse bucktail flies for salmon. Keith Fulsher incorporated her ideas into Thunder Creek patterns. Thank you so much, Stuart. Round of applause. This is what happens when all you've consumed since you were about 8 or 9 years old is fly tying content. I think I fell off after high school. I think I consumed enough from the age of 8 to like 18. But I remember reading a book and hearing how Carrie Stevens, thank you. I knew it was, I forgot her name, but I knew it was some woman had developed the reverse technique, and then I thought she developed the Thunder Creek, but you're right, somebody else did it. Carrie Stevens, thank you. It was right on the tip of my tongue. I knew I wanted to say it was something like that, but it was just something I read when I was a kid, and it's just floating in the back of my head. You know what I mean? And it just popped up just because we talked about it. So thank you for validating that for me. I appreciate that. And let's get to fly tying, because I'm just sitting here talking with a blank screen. Shout out Bill from EasyBody. He's like, you should make sure you don't leave the screen where it's just nothing. It's just the vice sitting there too long. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. Because I'm over here blabbing away, you know what I mean? It's just the vice sitting there. What we should, there's a meme where like people stream games and stuff, and the streamer gets up and walks away, and their chair is just sitting in there, and like they win the round or something. Like, whoa, the chair did great. The vice is really like this is an animated vice that's been talking to you guys the whole time. You know what I mean? And the vice moves every time when it talks like that. That's kind of what the stream is. White bottom, purple middle, black top. Okay. We're just going to use it all. Is the Thunder Creek tire... I still have some tied on full rod for rockfish. Different size Thunder Creeks were used in the 90s for albies. I'm assuming you meant to tie. You are correct. Nothing, you just recycled. Yeah. That's what I thought. Maybe the other guy popularized it. That's might have would have been. She like developed it or did something very similar, and he popularized it, which is a very common thing that happens in fly tying. And particularly back in the day. It probably even happens today, but it's a little bit harder. But like there were tons of stuff where somebody pretty much like even Lou Tabery and the snake fly is based off the Angus by Lester or something, I think is the guy's name. It's literally almost the same fly. In fact, let's take a look. The Angus fly. Leicester or Lester, I think is his name. Eric Leiser. Eric Leiser is what it's called. And this is what it pretty much looks like. It's literally just a snake fly. But he developed this before the snake fly. By Lou Tabery. Hey, look at that. I wonder who this is. But it's essentially the same fly. He just sparsed it up, did it a little bit different. What the hell is this? Mid-current? Why is my video on a different website? What is this? Is this just like a search engine or something? Isn't there a way I can... Isn't there a way I can... No. I thought there was a way I could do something. or look at the domain, but whatever. I don't want to click it. No, it's probably like a thing that just auto links. It's like a thing or something. It could even just be somebody posted my video on a site, like a forum or something. I don't know. I'm not clicking it though. I don't fucking know. It's not like they can't steal it in any way. It would just be linking my video to YouTube. You know what I mean? There was some people in Japan or China that took my live stream footage, or took my highlights from Twitch, or I don't know what the hell they did, and they uploaded it with dubbing and words, and it got flagged for copy strike. It must be like AI, like an AI thing or something. But it's like a Chinese channel or something, like was using my videos or something. Yeah, it's a fly tying site. It's probably either somebody listed it, or it was just somebody recommended it, or something, or it auto recommends it. Who knows? It's fine. It could only help. We need all the eyes we can get on this channel, so. And I didn't even do anything about the Chinese or Japanese video or whatever. I was like, whatever, who cares? Like, what am I gonna? It's got like 2 views. If I need to, I could do something about it. But all right, this is a big 4-aught hook we're using here. Yeah, I even have it set up on my channel that other people can remix my content, like via shorts and stuff. So people can even, I have it set up to where my video, to where people can, if they, obviously put enough effort onto it or whatever, that it's completely, or they can just use it. So. And there's also fair right use for people to, like somebody could take my fly time video, and as long as they talk over things or interject at times and talk and add their own value to it, then they can do that. A little bit of copyright law for you or whatever. All right, we're going to reduce the length. Well, I'm glad they recommended my stream. That being said, if you're watching on YouTube, like the stream. That's one of the biggest ways that affects the stream, whether or not they show it to other people, is whether or not you like it. So, I will say this: I'm very guilty. I use my videos as almost like a playlist, but I do try to like videos as often as possible. But the live streams, it makes a huge difference if you like a live stream. That being said, I never mention it because I hate whoring myself out on the internet that way. I never say, hey, please subscribe or whatever to the channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. I don't say anything like that. If somebody wants to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and they enjoy it, they will. You know what I mean? That being said, it does really help. But I don't mention it all the time because personally, I don't even like mention it when somebody's like 24/7, like, make sure to like it, make sure to like the stream, make sure to like the video, make sure to do this, make sure to do that. It's like, shut the hell up. Like... Yo, what's going on, Mad Monkey? How you doing? Frank Reynolds is playing your live streams at child sweatshops to make the flies. Ah, yes. He's playing that, like, jarring music over the loudspeakers. Like, it's like Vietnamese music or something. With a bunch of, like, Eastern European women in a basement making shoes and flies. Yeah. The fact that Danny DeVito even took that job and that role is so sick, dude. He's so cool for that. They were like, pretty much, they were like they weren't even known either, And he got sent this script. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'll do this. Getting like fully naked out of a couch, crawling out of it. Like, You can watch like a doc. You can watch all sorts of stuff. They talk about how he took the job and whatnot, and how it was this and that, and very interesting. All right, we're gonna cut the material into shorter lengths here. So let's start incorporating some colors on top. I remember purples, chartreuse, pinks, maybe some black. So what we'll do is we'll start with lighter colors on first, and then we'll move up to darker colors, because that's kind of naturally how bait fish, their color works. So working the night shift, just found your channel, subbed. Hey, thank you, Mad Monkey, appreciate that. Yeah, we got a ton of different fly tying tutorials. We stream every Friday night, just some fly tying, but we mostly focus on saltwater stuff. Live out here in Long Island, so I do a bunch of striper fishing. But we're glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. What sort of flies or fly fishing you do? Now, I'm assuming you fly fish. But you know what they say. If you assume something, I mean, what am I forgot. This is what my mechanic boss said to me one day. I was like, well, I assume the oxygen sensor is screwed up or whatever, because it's throwing this code, and these Toyotas, we get it every time. He's like, well, if you assume, it makes an ass out of both you and me. I remember he said that to me so seriously. I just wanted to, like, he didn't say it as a joke. He said it like dead seriously. And it was just one of the things where, like, I'm just over this job, bro. Muskie. Oh, very nice. Hell yeah, dude. Some of the most fun I ever had working fly fishing shows was talking to all the muskie guys. Because we were working this show in Pennsylvania. It was like the Pennsylvania Fishing Show, or the Philadelphia Fishing Show we did. And we had these muskie guys come up because we had we were tying hollow flies, beast flies at the time. And nobody gave a shit about the flies we were selling, because all they cared about was like conventional fishing. And any fly guys that were there, the muskie guys, they tied their own flies, so they didn't want to buy flies, obviously. But they were so like obsessed with what we were doing, because we were striper fly tires. And they were like, "Oh, this is sick." They were like, because we were tying giant flies, so they were like, we were talking about it. But the muskie guys were some of the most passionate people I've ever met when it comes to fly tying. They're like showing up the next day with their fly boxes to show us their flies. I think we spent so much money on the hotel. We did all this and that. I think we made like $400 for the whole show or something. That was one of the last. I was like, I'm done with these fly shows, bro. Or these fishing shows. Screw this. I'm only doing the local one. Where's the purple? Look. We're going to be incorporating colors, but I'm not doing purple at the start and then doing lighter colors on top. We're doing the purple near the end. Okay? That's how we're going to do it. Assume, ass, you, me. Exactly. Yeah. You think that's an Oscar Wilde quote? Yeah. I don't know. He was saying it. I've heard it as a joke before from, like, you know, it's like a dad joke or something. But my boss was saying it like dead serious. And I was like, I'm just over it. I'm over this job, bro. Screw this job. Yeah, so this is called a V-tie. And what it is it's tied offset at an angle. So what happens is the material's tied directly in the middle. It's tied offset at an angle, and then we fold it back on the opposite angle, and now you have a 3D profile. So it's called a V-tie. We got the new video that just came out. I'll post it in the chat too. The new video that just came out. In fact, let's just do it right now. Go to YouTube. For some reason, stupid Bing, the worst browser ever, never keeps my YouTube up, so I have to search for YouTube every time. I don't know why. Go to my channel. Go here. Goddamn ads, holy hell. Share that. Put in here. This will show you in-depth, detailed steps on tying the, essentially what we're tying right now, like an EP fly. But a smaller version. Kind of like, pretty much just like this. We mostly target, by the way, Mad Monkey, we mostly target striped bass because I live on Long Island in New York. We have striped bass, bluefish, false albacore, bonito, so that's what we mostly mess around with. But mostly stripers. That being said, I tie all sorts of flies because I tie commercially and privately for a living. So I tie a lot of roosterfish flies. I've tied a ton of giant trevally flies. I've tied tarpon flies. We just tied a bunch of bonefish and permit stuff, but mostly like striped bass, and then I do a lot of roosterfish for this group of guys for Rise Fly Fishing Company. They do an annual trip, so we started doing that during the winters. So I'm going to be doing that soon, where I focus on roosterfish stuff. Commercially, that is. I mean, you can only do so many videos on kinky muddlers. We still have to do the jumbo kinky muddler video because we did that on stream one day, and that fly is honestly one of the coolest flies I think I've ever tied. I still have it in my fly box. It's in the video about streamers for striped bass or whatever. Whatever that video I did is 10 various flies, subsurface flies for striped bass. Pretty much just like Sadati Slammer mixed with a kinky muddler, and that thing is sick. I gotta do a video on that. The Jungle Slammer. Or not the Jungle Slammer, the Jungle Muddler, we'll call it, or something. Or Magnum Muddler. Just a Johnny Kins fly. I put my own touch on. That's all it ever is. That's the thing. I'm not a fly designer. That's what I always tell people. I'm not a fly designer. I'm a fly tire. I fill boxes. That's all. Nothing fancy. All right. Well, you know, it's something that I was working yesterday. This is my guilty pleasure. I think I've mentioned it before, but Creepcast. Does anyone know Meat Canyon or Papa Meat on YouTube? Very big YouTuber. He's got a channel with Isaiah, I think his name, which is Wendigoon. And they read essentially creepypastas or like scary stories that were submitted to like these forums, No Sleep or whatever. And a lot of this are like old stories, but some of them are so good. So what I do is I essentially just, while I'm fly tying for 4 or 5 hours, I put that on, and they have like 3-hour long videos where it's like almost like a podcast type thing, where they're reading these like short horror, like short stories or whatever, and interjecting and stuff. But it's a good sort of, those are a lot of, or I watch like certain live streams for like Magic or this or that, or some gaming stuff. Something that you can listen to in the background while you're not, you don't have to watch it, right? But Creepcast, I listen to a lot. Yeah, Papa Meat's cool. He's got a Magic channel too. They play Commander and all sorts of stuff like that. All right, so we did tan. Now we can start adding some different colors. I think we're going to do the pink. That's what I think we're going to do. I used to tie large bucktail jigs for stripers in North Carolina when I lived there. There was a chance I moved to North Carolina. I kind of thank God I didn't, because it would have not been in saltwater, which really would have sucked. It was Cary, North Carolina, which Cary, North Carolina apparently is just a bunch of Long Islanders or New Yorkers. But North Carolina was cool, especially the coast, like Williamsburg, I think it is, right? Or not Williamsburg, what is it? Is it? William something. What's the hell is that name of that area? It's right on the coast. I don't know, it's been too long now, but I could see myself like living by the ocean in North Carolina. It was very similar to just being in the Hamptons. It was like a beach town. God, was it Williamsburg? No, it couldn't be. Williamson? Is it Williamson? Carrie's 5 miles from me. Raleigh or something. Wilmington. Thank you. Wilmington, North Carolina. We were generally considering moving there. This girl I dated, though, her family was from Long Island and then moved to Cary or Raleigh, North Carolina. And everybody there was like from New York. There was like everybody in this one area in Cary, North Carolina was like from New York. It seemed like. I don't know why, but a couple people from New York must have moved there. Like, it's cheap, bro, compared to New York. And I think it just, like, I don't know, cascaded or something. But Raleigh was pretty cool. Raleigh's pretty sick. I think Sequisha, the streamer, he lives somewhere near there. Raleigh's a sick. It's like almost like I think it's a college town, right? I couldn't do the inland stuff. I've grown up near the ocean my entire life, so it would have just been like lakes. You could go to the Blue Mountains or something, right, for trout, I think it was. But it was just like largemouth bass fishing, and there were sick lakes. I mean, sick lakes. But the inner child in me that loved largemouth bass fishing and watching Bassmasters was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But the professional fly tyer in me was like, I'm leaving Albies. I don't know if I could do it. And then we were going to move to Florida because we were living here, and then we ended up, whatever, and she ended up leaving and going to Florida. I was like, you should come down here while we were still dating. I was like, I don't know about this. And I went down there for like 2 weeks, and it was like 100% humidity, like 90 degrees, like every day. I'm like, you realize I'm a mechanic, right? We're driving past. None of these auto shops have AC, and these dudes are working outside. I'm like, I will die if I have to freaking change Jeep tires out in 110 degrees. Like, I would straight up die. Yeah, there you go. You're probably doing it for some mechanic. I was like, I couldn't do it. I saw these like shops, and I saw that they were offering like $6 an hour or something. It was like $8 an hour as a mechanic. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm used to New York money. Nowadays, I should be living in Florida. I make Florida money fly tying. You know what I mean? I should live in a trailer in Florida somewhere. That's what I should be doing, but oh god. That's funny. We'll keep it somewhat long here still, and then we'll start tapering it down. The thing is, once we start tapering the top section, we're losing that length, so I kind of want to get the colors that I like first. I really wish I had a blue, but I don't. So I think we use the olive here. And then we go with the purple and the blacks. And then we could use some colors for the throat. No, but this was like starting off. It was like, I'm not, what's the stupid AESA certified A-Tech or whatever, this or that, right? Because it was like, I just saw it was like, I was like a B-Tech at the time doing brake jobs. And I saw it was like, what do you call it? It was like freaking $12, $13 an hour or whatever. I was just looking at random jobs, probably on Craigslist or something, right? For in North Carolina at the time or something. But I think I was making like, I forget what I was making at the time. I don't even remember. But like, I was making like 20-something, $30 up here as a B-Tech. Probably even more at times in certain shops. So I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't even remember anymore because it's been so long, but I just remember the offset and money. I was like, I couldn't do it. The Outer Banks is sick. Now, mind you, this was also like 10, 15 years ago because I'm old. I'm an old man. So, inflation, you know? So, this also could be prices from back then. But I just remember it was significantly less. And this is probably like, I need to work at a shop for years before they start paying me more money or something, it seemed like. But it also could have just been the area I was in. This was like, where was this? I think it was Orlando or something. Yeah, it was like Orlando. No, it was Tampa. It was near Tampa. Well, that's the whole thing, right? You know, the rent's way cheaper or whatever, all that. But, yeah. I can't do Florida. I can vacation there, but I can't live there. Yep. It almost happened. So I've been there. I was almost the dude from New York that moved to Florida, but I think I made the right call. Nothing wrong with Florida. There were other variable factors, obviously. Well, compared to New York rent is like $3,000. You know what I mean? For like a for freaking like an apartment or a house, a little tiny cottage or something. Problem is, there's nowhere to actually rent nowadays because it's all freaking either bought up for, what do you call it? What's the name of that service where people can rent a house for like a day or two or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Airbnb, or it's like there's like people run illegal apartments and stuff illegitimately here. I think I was paying like, I don't know. I think I was paying under $2,000 to rent this tiny cottage by myself or with a girlfriend at the time, and that was like, people were like, "Holy hell, you're you're making out." Well, imagine, I couldn't imagine, like, for anyone living in California, probably, right? We don't gotta talk about housing or renting prices, but it's expensive, right? Everything's expensive. That is the benefit of living somewhere like North Carolina, Florida, even places like Texas. But even places like that are getting more expensive nowadays because a bunch of people from New York and California are moving there. You know what I mean? Just a local joke. Cary, North Carolina's capital area relocated Yankees. Yes, thank you. There you go. That's the joke. Yep. I mean, like, my ex, her sister was like working in this dealership. We went there. Everybody in the dealership was from New York. It seemed like everybody was just from New York there. Same thing when you go to Aruba. If you ever vacation in Aruba, everybody is either Venezuelan or they're from Long Island, because a bunch of people from Venezuela were vacationing there, right? I believe it was Venezuela, or it was Venezuelans, maybe Colombians as well too, because I think they're pretty close. I could be wrong. And every other person we talked to on the beach was from Long Island. They're like, "Oh, where are you?" "I'm from Hauppauge." "Oh, I'm from Huntington." I'm like, "Why is everybody from Long Island here in Aruba?" And then there was like timeshares and stuff. I think it's like the place that was selling the timeshares, like, was selling it to all these people here on Long Island or something. But yeah, that was interesting. I was like, holy hell. Why the hell is everybody from Long Island here? Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm lucky. I'm able to, I mean, you kind of have to. If you're not making over $100,000 a year, like, good luck living on your own nowadays. But I live with my parents. Pretty much everybody lives with their parents out here nowadays, unless they're in a relationship. And, like, you know, if you're in a couple, you can afford something or whatever. But by yourself, I mean, it's tough. Everything's so expensive out here. So, you know, it's funny. In other parts of the world, like, people, you know, live with their family and stuff. And nowadays, it's becoming more and more common here because it's just the price of living is so expensive. Like, unless you really are, you know, financially well off, like, good luck being, you know, 20, 30 years old and trying to rent a house in some of these states like New York, or, you know, I couldn't have probably California or whatever. Unless you really are making money, it's almost impossible. So pretty much just getting priced out of living. You know what I mean? That's great. All right. Now we can start shortening the length of material here. And I'm trying to think. We are going to be trimming it. Kind of want to save the purple for near the end and the black, but... All right. Yeah, we'll start shortening the length here. Significantly. Yeah, let me move the vise a little bit too, because we're kind of slightly out. It's almost looking like a bunker now, but What material is this? This is EP fiber, it's called. Yeah, well, you know, look, my parents were able to buy this house in the 90s and like for like under $100,000. Nowadays the house is valued at like $500,000. So this is not like a fancy house or something. So that's just to tell you, like, to show you the price of inflation here and the cost of, especially with the housing market in general here on Long Island. So, and something tells me I'm not making 5 times the amount of money that you know, like, I've been fly tying for 10 years, and it wasn't until just recently I started having to increase the price of my stuff, because I'm like, I'm not making any money anymore. I feel like all the materials going up, everything's going up, the cost of shipping, everything, right? But, you know, I'm like supposed to be charging the same price for flies. Like, what's going on here? You have a couple of those, and ironically, you have it in cyan. Look, I wouldn't be surprised because he offers almost every color. But I'm also calling you out for BS. You know what? We can solve this with one simple thing. Let's do it. If they don't offer cyan, do I need to ban you? Let's see. We're gonna Google it. Okay. Oh, cyan blue or sky blue. Let's take a look. Where does he not have his own website? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Enrico, what's going on here, bro? What are we doing? This is like one of the biggest fly tying companies. I gotta wait 15 seconds. Fibers. EP fibers. Turquoise, sky blue. It did say sky blue is also listed as cyan. I'm not seeing a cyan, I'm seeing a sky blue. I don't know. I'm not seeing a cyan. Okay. Hot cyan blue. Hot cyan blue. Whew. Whew. Lucky. It's gonna have to ban you. Hot cyan blue. He does offer cyan. Of course. I did not mean to hit that one. Post it in the Discord. You could have just photoshopped it. Why should I trust you? Yeah, aha! Nope, don't give that a cheer. But flip it around. Does it say cyan on the back, or is it sky blue? You know what I'm talking about? If we're gonna start calling it cyan, it needs to be cyan. You can't be using sky blue calling it cyan. They're clearly different. I mean, your girlfriend has an art degree, she would know that. If we're gonna start getting into the nitty gritty, what does the backside say? You're lucky. They do offer cyan. They do offer it though. You're lucky. Yep. I wasn't gonna ban you anyway, but that's a classic streamer joke where somebody says something and you're like, I don't know. What do you think, chat? Are we gonna need to ban them? I think they might be wrong here. Just an old It's old pro streamer move. It looks like it's sky blue. Or do they offer cyan? Ha 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 ha! You fool! I wish I had a gasp. Magic Blast. That's what I thought. Are we saying turquoise is the same as cyan? Because something tells me that a bunch of Native Americans that make jewelry would be pissed off about that. There's a clear difference between turquoise and cyan. I actually have some turquoise jewelry because in Turkey they love using turquoise for jewelry. But also when we used to go to the reservation here, they had the Indian, what do they call it? The powwow. That's what they called it. Nowadays you probably get canceled for that, but that's where I go buy all my weed too, is the res, because they have dispensaries, because they don't give a shit about the state. But the powwows were sick, and they had sick turquoise jewelry all the time. Beautiful, beautiful turquoise jewelry every time we went there. My dad always bought some. Who knows the difference? I know, we're just getting it. We're just getting it in the nitty gritty. Is mauve a fly tying color? I'm pretty sure that's a fruit, isn't it? Are you talking about guave? That's a fruit. Or are you talking about the desert? The Mojave Desert in Arizona. Of course. Still the powwow. Yeah. The best goddamn funnel cake you'll ever eat. I don't know if it's like a funnel cake or what. They make some sort of fried cake and put powdered sugar on all over it. Am I just making that up? That was something at the powwow, right? They had some sort of fried battered bread dough or something dish that was so good every time we went there. It might have just been the same thing you get at carnivals now that I think of it, but I don't know. I feel like they had something. That might just be a powwow thing to our local powwow at the res here, but it looks like mauve, but mauve. Funnel cake slaps. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna say no. Mauve, like mauve, but mauve. No, I don't know mauve. Or I don't know if that's a fly tying color. I've never heard of it personally. Are you sure it's not a fruit? No. I'm just joking, by the way. I know guave or whatever is different. Guava, whatever it's called. Okay. Yeah, they do some sort of funnel cake thing, dude. Oh my god. It was definitely better than the thing that we would get at the local, like, fair, for instance. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but all I remember is that funnel cake was unbelievable. It's actually where I got my first bow. It was not like a real bow. It was like just a branch with a stick bent backwards and a couple blunt arrows. But I got a bow and I was shooting in my backyard. Kind of helped set off like the archery inspiration in my head, which led to me becoming a recurve hunter years later. I have a photo of me holding that bow at the powwow on my fridge. Mauve. Mauve. Mauve? Oh, okay. Of course. It's pronounced mauve, right? Is that correct? How about I'm never saying that goddamn color ever again? All right? I don't ever want to hear that color ever mentioned in this chat. Okay? I don't care about your goddamn mauve colors around here. All right? We don't have cyan. We don't have mauve. Whatever you city folks use. All right? All we got is goddamn chartreuse. Now get out of my fly shop. That's what I would sound like if I ever had a fly shop out here in the Hamptons. Somebody was like, "Hey, you got cyan? Get the hell out of here, you freak!" Just yelling at him. Get out of here! Oh, you're talking about turquoise? Oh yeah, we got that. You guys and your colors. What did you guys all? Did you get like a color palette, Venn diagrams for Christmas, or posters for your wall or something? Everyone's pulling out all the fancy colors. Well, what's the next color you guys got for me? That's a windaner, windizzler. What's a fancy color you guys got for me next, huh? We can start pulling out French words. Paint me like one of your French girls. Just Crayola. Oh, you're just whipping out the Crayola box? Yeah. Cyan, I did learn about cyan because of Crayolas. That is true. Shout out to the mega Crayola boxes. I don't know what the biggest size my parents ever bought me, but I know there was like the jumbo ones. There was probably like mega jumbo boxes. But I still remember buying like, or getting the gigantic ones. What were they, like 50 or 60? And it would have all the different colors. Dude, we're looking it up right now. Crayola. The 120 count. Yeah, so there's the 64. There was the 64, but there was the one that had like every color. I think it was what, 100 and something. Yeah, 120. I think that's might have been. I feel like I don't know if I ever got one though. Maybe it was the 60s. Were regular is what I'm thinking about. I just remember being a kid and having like a giant one like this. It was like massive. With like every color. 64, 128. Yeah. It's probably the 120 box then. The 60s were like pretty standard. Bog standard. Or they had like the 20 or 30s or something. Yeah, they had the 24s. They all taste the same. I don't know. Does cyan not taste different than mauve? With a bio T Om Sam Jahir? What did you just start speaking Indian? Like the continent of India? Oh, with a built-in sharpener. Okay. The continent. I'm sorry, the country of India, not the continent. The continent is Asia, right? But yes, I thought you started speaking Indian or something right there. You know what's crazy is YouTube just recommends me nothing but Indian content. Like just tons of videos of all sorts of random stuff. I don't know if maybe India is super big on Instagram nowadays. But like half the content I get is either AI generated videos of like a bear getting scared by a dog protecting its puppies, you know, that bullshit that you see nowadays, or it's like Indian or Chinese content is what they show me. You're signing off for the night. Hey Jin, thanks for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it. You have an awesome weekend, all right? Thanks for stopping by. It's all Chinese or Indian, and then it's all AI. And all I follow is cars and fly tying stuff. But they pretty much just recommend me a bunch of AI content nowadays. I'm not going to lie, too. I'm pretty good, obviously. I know all about Sora and all that, right? And it's so easy to kind of tell. There's always these videos of dogs. I keep seeing videos of AI-generated videos of dogs, like fighting off bears and like wolves. But you can always tell it's fake because the dog, it's like a guard dog. And it's like not facing the wolf. They like run at each other and then they both face the camera, essentially. But I keep getting all this AI freaking content. And every once in a while I see something, I'm like, I gotta look at the comments and see if it says AI or not. Because I honestly generally don't know with this one. Nah, I serve. Oh, so that means you're a Marine, right? I thought the Marines like eating crowns, is from what I heard. Crayons. Oh, we need to get you a box of crowns. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yep. Because I couldn't pronounce crayons properly for like the first 16 years of my life till you berated me about it one day outside high school. Yeah, I remember. Now, that being said, one of my best friends is Marine, so I'm not trying to obviously disrespect the Marines, but I just watch a ton of different military stuff too, and it's always the armed service guys are ribbing on each other in the comments. And I believe that's where the crayons. Hold on, let me put my reverb on. The crayons, not crowns, Joe comes from. I even thought about it too. I was like, because you got to realize I grew up with freaking 9/11 and all that. Getting out of high school, I was like, dude, man, maybe I'll go in the military because it would be sick, right? I'm sure it's probably a hell of a lot of fun. It's also possibly very terrible going to war, obviously. But as like an 18-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, sick. But with my back issues. But I seriously looked into like what it takes to join the army or something. And I remember thinking, I was like, dude, there's no way I could do the Marines. There's no way. I remember looking into it, and they're the most badass out of all of them. The most rough and tumble, you know. And I love all, you know, I'm sure everybody's. But that's like, you know, the Marines get the reputation of being like hardcore. And I was like, there's no way I could survive that. I'm like, especially with my back, there's no way I could ruck with like 120 pounds or something for like 2 days straight, whatever the hell. I remember watching videos on it. That immediately was like, all right, I'm not doing that. Because I genuinely was considering it in high school. Like right around when I was 18, 19. I was like, either I'm going to go to the local community college and keep working in this restaurant, or maybe I'll join the like army or something. And probably get sent over to like freaking Iraq or Afghanistan or something. Good thing is, by the time I was old enough, we knew that the reasons why we went there and all that. And I was kind of old enough to be like, maybe that's not a good idea. After seeing what war looked like at the time. And nowadays it's even worse. So, God bless anyone that needs to go into modern day combat nowadays. Holy hell. Jesus. You have a freaking DJI dropping grenades on you and a kamikaze drone blowing you up. That's just crazy, dude. The Space Force? Yeah, Space Force. Let's be real. The real badasses are the Coast Guard. They get to, like, drink and party. I heard the Coast Guard parties are pretty nuts. So, if you want to party, you join the Coast Guard, from what I heard. And you get to ride on kick-ass boats that do backflips or whatever. The Coast Guard's the hardest. I heard they party the hardest, though. I did hear the Coast Guard is not an easy thing to do, though. Oh, it's the hardest branch to get into. Maybe that's why they party so hard. They're like, hell yeah, dude. Once you're in. $64 crowns? Yeah, well, the romance of war quickly wears off after the war goes on for 10 years, and you kind of grow up watching, like, the freaking Daily Show and Dave Chappelle and all this stuff, and him, oil! You know what I mean? And all that. So, if I was 18 years old in 2001... I would be dead right now or something or some shit. Because that was crazy. As a New Yorker, that was wild. For sure. enough to where it had the impact to where by the time I was 18 after being a kid, you know, because I forgot what age I was when that happened. I was like 11, 10 years old. I was like, maybe I should join the military or something. But again, like we said, by the time that happened, the Dave Chappelle skit sold it for me, really. Where's the Black George Bush? Whatever. That shit was hilarious. He's like, alright, I'm leaving. I'm going with the aliens. We got our alien bitches. Out. The meteor's coming in 2 days. Peace. He like leaves with the aliens. Alright, well now you're making me feel old. You don't gotta mention you were 1 when it happened. Jeez. Alright, let's trim the fly out. Oh. Yeah, I have a couple of different friends that served, or different people that I know over the years that served and whatnot. And yeah. They probably wouldn't have taken me because of my back. I probably would have gotten somebody killed. in a wartime zone, I probably would get someone killed because I'll throw my back out, falling into a trench, because it's trench fighting nowadays, but like tripping over a rock, and then somebody would have to try and help me, and then they would die, you know. Or they would have to leave me there. 35 is young today? I tell you what, dude. Unfortunately, I do not feel young, but I wish. I know 35 is supposed to be 30 is the new 20s nowadays. I feel like I'm in my 40s, so 50s possibly, but that's what having a bad back and freaking sleeping issues does to you, so. All right, let's trim this thing out. See, the problem is that purple and that black is only really going to be in the front now, but you know what? That's completely fine. Thin that out. Too much material is no good. Just randomly kind of go around. Boop, 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 boop. Keep the scissors angled somewhat outwards, or at least don't cut too deep. And we're not going for like a bunker. We're going for more like a mackerel shape. Sardina profile, if you will. Because that's kind of how the EP flies are. I mean, theoretically, you could tie a bunker fly, but this isn't really the material for something like that. In my opinion. And that's the reason why you don't really see big bunker flies tied by them or something. Because the material is also too soft and subtle to really hold its shape like that. So I think it works for more something like this. Yeah, just for a little color up on the head. And we can put some bigger eyes on it. I will be 57 on Sunday. Oh my God. Did you say Sunday? You son of a bitch. That means we have the same exact birthday. I don't know if I've ever met anybody that was born on the 28th, by the way. So Mad Monkey, you just found the stream today. We're born on the same exact day. Now, mind you, I was born in 1990. So you're a little bit older than me. But I'm almost certain you're the first person I've ever met that was born on December 28th. In like fucking 34 years. Soon to be 35 of living on this earth, so. Sounds kind of weird, man. You know what I mean? Were you sent by the deep state? No? What does that mean? Is my birthday not Sunday? Am I tripping? No, it is. Yeah. I was expecting you to do strictly white on the bottom, purple middle, and then black on top. I've never met another. Yep. Well, happy pre-birthday. Your fiance is born the day after me, same year and everything. Damn, that's crazy. Now imagine you were born in like the same hospital. Then I would be worried. Like, make sure you're not, related or something. That sounds like a CVS or what? Not CVS. That's a store. What's the name of that? Hallmark or something? It sounds like one of those movies or something. No, I'm joking. That's crazy though. Anyone miss the old days when we had the basic 7 colors? What do you mean by basic 7 colors? Just like red, white, yellow, blue, black, purple, or whatever in terms of fly tying materials? And there wasn't like 15 different shades of oranges? I look back on older fly tying like that with great fondness. And I think there's a charm to it. And I think it's, to some degrees, almost better. But that being said, I don't think there's anything wrong with having like 16 different colors, right? Roy G. Biv, yeah, but I'm trying to... So red, orange, yellow, green, blue. What the hell's I? And violet. What the hell's I? Seriously, though, what the hell is I? I don't remember what the hell I is in Roy G. Biv. What the hell is I? Oh, damn, dude. If I was, like, in a freaking SAT or something. I don't think I did take the SATs. Indigo? Man, you guys... When the hell have you ever seen indigo? I feel like that's just, like, you know what I mean? What happened to Indigo? Who murdered Indigo? You know what I mean? When do you ever use the word indigo to describe the color other than talking about Roy G. Biv? You know what I mean? That sounds like an alternative band from the 90s. You know? It's Roy G. Biv? Wait, yeah, is there not an IV? No, it's just, there is a V, right? Is there an I in Roy G. Biv? Or is it BV? You know what? Chat, somehow you turn this goddamn stream into a conversation about colors, and I hate it. Alright? You guys are confusing my knowledge, my pre-assumed knowledge of colors. Indigo Girls? Yeah, isn't that... Wait, wasn't that... No, that's Spice Girls. You guys are just making this shit up. Alright, I'm looking it up. What's Roy G. Biv? Okay, I do see an I. There is an I there. Roy G. Biv. What the hell is this? Indigo. Yeah, there is Indigo. Jack Hartman, Kids Music Channel. Look at this guy. This guy probably made... I'm not even joking. This guy probably makes like $5,000 a month on YouTube, probably making kids music or something. This dude probably drives like a freaking Bugatti. You want to make money, you make kids content. That's where all the real money is. That dude's over there farming Roy G. Biv videos. He's probably driving like a brand new freaking Rolls Royce or something. I exposed myself as what? Oh, not a true crown connoisseur? Look, dude, I didn't even know how to pronounce the word crayons. You see, I said crowns. I didn't even know how to pronounce them. You think I was eating them? Obviously, if you eat crayons, you know how to pronounce it. It took, I think I was about 9th or 10th grade where Rev like berated me outside of high school with all my friends. He's like, "You're saying it wrong." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's pronounced crayons. I vividly remember the conversation. So, because for about 16 years of my life, I was pronouncing it crowns. Because my father's Turkish, and he pronounces some words very differently. Bugattis are around $27K a month. Well, if you're the first video that pops up on YouTube with Roy G. Biv, and it's a kid's video, you're probably driving a Bugatti. Okay? What was the name of that kid? Jaden Plays or something? There's like a little kids channel where the kid's like a teenager now, and all he did was play with toys. They probably made like $1 billion off that YouTube channel or something. They probably still are. Because I remember this is a comedian talking about, but what makes the world go round? Kids. Like, what is the reason for everything? It's kids. Because kids want something, they need something, whatever. Pretty much. Some kids nagging their parents about something is pretty much like what 90% of the world is based off of. And the economy and everything. Or something. I don't know. The guy put it much more eloquent than me in a funny way and as a joke. But let's be honest. You know what I mean? Bullied for mispronunciation? You damn straight. No, it was proper because I look like an idiot saying, "Hey, pass the crowns." It sounds so right, too. Imagine saying crayons. Like, first off, it just doesn't sound right. It sounds dirty. You know what I mean? It should be illegal to say crayons. Why are we adding all of that extra aeons on there? It should be crowns. Yo, pass me the crowns, bro. Crayons? It took me so long to fucking wrap my head around it. Hey, yo, pass me the crayons over there. See, that's the thing. I'm a New Yorker, too. Do you say, "Hey, pass me the crayons"? That's not what you say in New York. I'm starting to think you're actually doing it wrong, Rev. As a New Yorker, we should be saying crowns. "Hey, yo, pass me the crowns over there." You know what I mean? "Hey, yo, oh, whoa, pass me the crowns." "Oh, hey, oh, oh." You know? Just picture, like, the dude from The Sopranos. Is he going to say crayons? Nope. And I'm only like a very small percentage of Italian. I don't even know. I actually might not be Italian in any way, but I'm claiming I am a very small percentage of Italian. I don't think they're saying crayons. What's the guy's name from The Sopranos? The actor that plays the main guy? I forget his name. I think he would say crowns. "Hey, I'm walking here. Oh, hey, oh, 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 oh." My favorite when It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they like try to join like an Italian mob or something, and they're like, "Hey, bitch boy, why don't you clean the street?" And they have Mac like cleaning, doing all this stuff. Oh, Gandolfini, yes, thank you. Rest in peace. He was an amazing actor. But they got him doing all this stuff, and they're all just like, "Oh, oh, hey, oh," and they're like, "Stop with the O's." These like Italian mobsters, they're like, "Would you stop with the O's already?" And it's just Dennis and Mac. They're like, "Whoa, hey, oh, whoa, whoa." That's one of my favorite stuff. I don't even know if I'm Italian. I think I'm French, British, German, and I think Italian, if I'm not wrong. I'm like 4%. That's on my mother's side, split up quadrant style. And then on the other side, my father, I'm just 100% Turkish. 50%, 100% Turkish. Because in Turkey, if you're 50% Turkish, that means you're 100% Turkish. It's how the math works in Turkey. All right. What the hell were we doing again? Oh, yeah, we're going to do our marble race. All right. Somebody said this last time, too. All right, Keith, I don't know what the hell happened. I may have only streamed for 2 hours and 44 minutes last time. All right? This time, I streamed for 3 hours. That's right. Round of applause. I read the comments. All right? I don't know what I did to piss you off, Keith. I'm sorry. It was only 2 hours and 44 minutes, and I understand I have 8 minutes probably of an intro while I'm smoking a J. This time, we broke the 3 hours. Okay? So I don't want to hear nothing. Because Keith, I don't know who you are. You commented on my YouTube. All right? You watching my streams. And I respect you for that. But I made sure we broke the 3 hours this time. Okay? I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear it. Because I think when we ended the stream, I was like, all right, that was almost 3 hours. And then somebody wrote a comment. They were like, 3 hours? Not really. And I was like, what the hell, dude? It was 2 hours and 44 minutes. All right, maybe not 3 hours. But we were close. Okay? Close. All right. You know how it goes. Yeah, I mean, 2.5 hours, 3 hours is usually what I do. It's right about now. It's like I'm starting to feel my voice starts to go out because I'm just talking incessantly like a madman, but that's my style of streaming. So I feel bad for somebody that comes in here thinking that this is going to be like an Orvis stream or something, you know, like you're definitely not going to get that. You're going to get the ramblings of a madman for sure. But that's, you know, that really is the mark of a good fly tire is a disheveled look, possibly partially crazy. Okay. Marble music. It just happens when you tie at the vise for 8 hours a day. You kind of just like, you know. You lose it over time. That being said, we got a marble race to do. What am I missing? Yeah, hop on in there, Jim. Hell yeah, brother. Was quality 2 out of 44? I have no idea what that means. Happy holidays, dude. Oh, yo, Caleb. What's going on, Caleb? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Exclamation mark play, hop in there. For anybody watching on YouTube, unfortunately, you can't take part in this. This is a Twitch integration. That being said, we do a giveaway on YouTube with the last video of the month. So coming out on Wednesday, we'll have a new fly tying tutorial, and all you got to do is like, comment, and be subscribed on the channel. We'll be giving a flyaway on there. That being said, we do our Twitch giveaways last Friday of the month. We're starting it up. God, this song fucks. So good. Let's back it up. Whoa, this map looks crazy. Holy hell. What the hell is going on? And they're off. Doc in the lead. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn that down. Jim, yo, thank you for the tier 1, brother, with the 41 months. Thank you so much. That is so kind. Much appreciated. You didn't have to do that. And look at that. It's rigged. Jim's in the lead. Just like that. You sub to the channel, you're going to win flies. Get wrecked, Lean. It's happening, folks. Never mind. I'm sorry. It is rigged. Jim subbed, and now he's stuck in the eternal vortex pit. But we got Mall Dropper. And we got Jin. Now, Lean's already won, so anyone is eligible on the track to win these flies. All they got to be doing is following the channel, which they are. We have Marble side-by-side racing here. This is neck and neck. Mall Dropper and Jin. Oh, just like that, Doc went flying out off the track. Jin taking a shortcut in the short truck. Firing through the cannon. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, a very anticlimactic ending, but a very impressive lead. Is there a bonus for getting it through the rain? Let's find out. If somebody makes it in the rain, I'll send them flies. If you can make it through one of the rings, Jim, I'll send you a fly. Nope. All comes down to this crag roll. Can he make it through one of the rings? This track is crazy. Look at this. Can he do it, folks? It's all up to this. You just gotta find the hole. Put it in the hole. Oh! Oh! He almost... He hit the edge of it. He hit the edge of it. I don't think he made it through the first one, but the last one he almost made. He still made it in the pit, by the way. Absolutely wild. I don't think he made it through the first one, but the third one he hit the edge. That was pretty sick. Almost did it. Anyways, congratulations, Jin, who he had to go to bed, but we'll write it down, follower. So I got some flies to send out, all right? So we got Gin, Brew, Crag Roll, Leans. I got to send you some guys some stuff, Doc. All right? And we have Gene Rose on YouTube. So, anyways, what do you call it? That is our Friday Fly giveaway on Twitch. Last Friday of the month. And it's fun. Little tradition we got here. Some marbles. You know what I mean? Little marble racing is all. That being said, chat, thank you so much for watching. I just had to write everything down here. And like I said, we do have our giveaway on YouTube is going to be coming out probably on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. Wednesday's New Year's Eve. Maybe we'll do it the day before or something. I suggest a dice stream next Friday. What do you mean by dice stream? You mean roll your own fly with dice? The very popularized game created by Ally Flies Mike using dice and rolling your own fly with various techniques? Or what do you mean? Yeah, like the D20? Yeah, we could do that next time. Maybe we'll do a roll your own fly. That's pretty interesting. We could have you folks maybe come up with the conditions and we could roll it. We could do something like that. Why don't you remind me? Maybe we'll try and figure that. Unless I've come up with something, some other idea or some sort of plan. We might do that next week. That sounds kind of fun. So, anyways, thank you, chat. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for spending some time with us. And if you haven't, go check out the new EP baitfish video, which is out now. Be certain to go check it out. And if you got some hype points, use them on there. It'd be much appreciated. I think we already had some folks hyping it. But I didn't want to mention it at the start of the video because I don't want every video to be like, hey, make sure to use your hype points. But yeah, I appreciate it. I saw some people were hyping it. So I do appreciate anyone that does that. It really makes a difference. And it's free. But thank you so much, chat. I hope you folks have an awesome night. And everybody take it easy. Stay safe out there. And stay warm. And I'm going to do some Magic drafts online this weekend for my birthday. So, anyways, thank you. You guys take it easy. We'll see you next Friday. And we got a video coming out next week on YouTube with our giveaway. So, thank you, chat. Have an awesome weekend. Stay safe and stay warm out there. And till next time, as always, tight lines.